てくガラスの迷路ひび割れた声まだ消えないまま藤た記憶誰かの夢にすり替わる名前さえ今奪われてく聞こえるか胸の奥できしむ鎖の叫び逃げないで選ぶんだ自分だけの芯を一つ書き換えられた世界で僕は僕を上書きしてくささやく嘘切り裂きながら覚めないなら夢を燃やせ一つ操られた明日に君の本と響かせてかけ違えたストーリー今塗り替えてゆけ黒いタイピング運命に鼓動が刺さる笑うシステム感情を食らう震えた指でログアウト先を探してるでも君の手が確かにここにある忘れるな偽物でも選ぶ痛みはリアル奪えない願いだけが最後のパスワード一つ書き換えられた世界で僕は僕を上書きしてくささやく嘘切り裂きながら覚めないなら夢を燃やせ一つ操られた明日に君の本と響かせてかけ違えたストーリー今塗り替えていけ必殺君の声で暗いスクリプトを壊して一つ書き換えられた世界で僕は僕を更新してく挟むく影抱きしめながら傷ついても夢を離すな一つ操られた未来君と一緒に飛び越えて交差してくストーリー今始まりに帰ろう
That's right, boys. Welcome to another episode of Hypnocast. That's right, we're live, boys. We are live, we are live, we are live. We're going to dive down the rabbit hole that is known as the internet. But before we do that, boys, you got to bring it in. Listen, it's a beautiful Tuesday. It is a beautiful Tuesday. It's not Monday. We don't believe in Mondays. We don't talk about Mondays. Mondays don't exist. Guys, it is Tuesday. It is a gorgeous Tuesday. That means it is not a second Monday. That means we got to hug it out, boys. Bring it in. I already see everybody hugging it out right now. Chaotic Holy said no. Everybody grab him by the cankles and drag him in here. Matthew Watson's trying to run away. Everybody grab him by his fucking cankles and drag him in here. How's your Monday? It's not Monday. Stop lying to yourself. Nobody likes Mondays. Nobody likes Mondays. It's Monday somewhere. No, it's not. No, it's not. You know what? It's Monday when you're dead. Guys, bring it in and listen very closely because we already have bombs dropping. All right, we already got nukes going out. We got red boys being dropped. People voting. It's crazy, boys. It's crazy. Bring it in. If you're watching over on YouTube, like the stream. Do it now. Or I'm going to send Ricky Boy after you. If you guys are watching over on Rumble, like the stream now. Right now. Wait, Rumble, is Rumble not working? Is Rumble not working? Why is Rumble not working? The chat is saying Rumble's not working. All right, if you're watching anywhere else, you're gay. I don't know what to tell you.
You are gay!
All right, hold on. I'm going to try to fix Rumble really quick. I don't really know what's going on here. Not really sure why it's not working. Might be. I'll tell you this, though. OBS has been really gay all day today. I could not do a gaming stream today because OBS was not properly connecting with the streams. And only, like, I think it was at, like, 7:40-ish. All of a sudden, it started working again. So I don't really know if, like, that's what's going on. But I'm gonna take a second look because it's been a little fucked up today. It's all like everything's been kind of acting weird. I think it's tied to OBS. I'm not exactly sure. It might be YouTube Studio. It's all kind of fucked up. But if Rumble's not working, then it's got to be OBS. It's got to be OBS. Guys, listen. I'm gonna play the TTS really quick because we had a couple of bangers come in. We're gonna do the Red Boy clip.
Cortana, let's see where this goes.
Black Tailgate.
There is no Tuesday without Monday first.
That's bullshit at kicking down to stop lying to us. Guys, let's celebrate Black Tailgate's $100 Red Boy Hyperbanger. I don't know what clip he wants, though. He didn't tell me what clip he wants. God damn it, you got to tell me what clip he wants. BioT Wolf, stop grabbing ass. I see you grabbing ass, man. Mr. Melancholy does not like when you grab his ass. Boys, let's celebrate Black Tailgate while I try to fix Rumble. Let's go.
We have ourselves a Red Boy Hyper Banger!
Oh my, Hypno, my slip up of slow help is now a whole new in itself. So let's get it on Big Boy. Wahaha.
Shut up,
Happy
Chewie.
second Monday, Dave.
Black Tailgate. Thank you, my man. Dropping $100 Red Boy at the start of the fucking stream like an absolute badass. We're going to get to those memberships in a second, my man. Thank you, good sir. Holy shit. It looks like everything is fixed on Rumble. I just basically reloaded it, and it seems like it's working now for them over there. Sorry about that, Rumble. Have no idea what's going on with that. I apologize. Everything's a little wonky today. It's a little wonky today. What can I say? What can I say, boys? All right, let me replay these super chats.
Stellar Blade News. Lords of the Fallen delayed. Final Fantasy VII Wyatt. Is it Monday? Will Hypno admit to being friends with Scumpus and Chewie?
Oh my god.
Find out on Hypnocast tonight.
That's none of that's true. Literally none of that's true.
Hashtag Samus.
Oh my, Hypno, my slip up of slow calp is now a whole meme in itself. So let's get it on Big Boy.
What? No. You know, it was better.
Wahaha.
It was better. It was better when it was slow comp. Oh man.
Happy second Monday, Dave.
It is not a second Monday. Stop it. Stop lying to yourself. All right? Stop lying to yourself. Guys, listen, can I get a mic check, please? For the love of God. Mic check, titty check, balls check. What are we checking? What are we checking today? Well, we got a lot we got to check, boys. We are 100% going to get to the background NPCs video today, okay? We're 100% doing it. We're doing it first, so that way we cannot miss it. But we got a lot of other things we're checking today, boys. We got some interesting conversations going around. Final Fantasy VII apparently celebrating its queer representation or something along those lines, as if that wasn't already there in the original game. But, you know, people want to pretend like they did the first thing ever. It's the most stupid shit in the fucking world. We got a lot we're checking today. But what else we checking? What else we checking, man? Scampuses are adorable. No, they're not. No, they're not. ME3 Legendary. It is until the ending. It is until the ending.
Hashtag Samus.
Oh, no.
I am enjoying my time with Felicia now that she is out.
What? I gotta stop asking what. I really do. Like, I should already know the answer, especially with Bioti Wolf.
Mother have I.
What the fuck was that? He says, what the fuck was that, bro? Holy shit. I'm gonna stop asking why. I already know the answer. I already know. We got a Skitari check. We got Everspace 2 right now for me check. Very nice, Ian. What else we got, man? We got Snip check. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're keeping Biden in his cage. We are not doing that. Tuesday check, absolutely. Tuesday is better than the Monday that doesn't exist. We got a Harry Chewy check. We got, what else? Let me see. Leave Stellar Blade alone check. Queerness is gay check. Oh, I'm sorry.
Hashtag
Queerness is
Samus.
goodness check. There you go.
Love tall women, and she reminds me of Darkness from Konosuba. And these
Damn.
activists never got a
Oh,
growing up.
true. True. That's true. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for the 7, Mr.
It's Monday. Oh, 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 oh.
Hypno, are you mad today?
What the fuck was that previous one? Is that new? What the fuck are we doing? What was that? What was that? Ascend? Wait a second. Hold on. Wait a fucking second. Let me replay that one. Hold on. What the fuck was this?
It's Monday. Oh, 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 oh.
Hashtag Samus.
レッド A ヒプノブランドクロック&ユーミル
Whatever
ゲ
he's
ット
saying,
A
he's
ヒプノクラッシーオンヒクノ
Whatever he's saying, he's lying. Him too. Him too. Pretty much. All lies. All of it's lies. All
Sniff,
of it.
sniff, I can't wait. You ice cream, sniff, sniff.
Oh
You
my
smell
God.
like Ashley's hair sniff.
Oh my God. It's so awkward. Stop using. You're the only one that uses Biden. Stop. You mean to tell me you don't look these over? No, I don't. I just kind of let it rock with whatever the voices came with the program. I didn't actually look over every single fucking voice. I probably should have, though. Holy shit. Anyway, thank you, Trey, for the 5. Thank you, G. for the 5. Monkey Man for the 5. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Guys, ESG scores are at their maximum. We're fully funded, boys. Like the stream. Come on, like it. Like it. Let's go. We got a lot we got to do. We got a lot we got to go over today. But first and foremost, we do, in fact, have a battle. We do, in fact, have a battle going on today. And considering how crazy yesterday's was, where Tifa was losing, and then all of a sudden everybody started to try to felt Felicia, which ended up resulting in Tifa winning the battle. Today, we got another one. We got to pick another semifinalist, boys. That's right. So, yesterday, what ended up happening was Felicia got completely ousted from this particular tournament, resulting in Tifa moving on to the semifinals to face off against Lara Croft. So we got our first 2 semifinalists, Lara Croft and Tifa Lockhart. Over the next 2 days, including today, we're going to be picking our next 2 semifinalists. And today is going to be none other than Samus versus Cortana, ladies and gentlemen.
It's Monday. Let's go, everyone. Make oh.
Is this going to be a thing? Is this going to be a fucking thing? There's something really wrong with you guys. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but there's something really wrong with you guys. Really wrong with you guys. All right. Anyway, back to the normal show. Guys, we got Samus.
The one day I worked overtime, my girl Tifa won. Huge victory. Furries can go home. We all know JDA is a huge furry C, #%, and if you vote for he, you are no better than him.
What the was that even English, bro? What the fuck was that, bro? Like he had a stroke halfway through that. I don't even know what. Anyway, Trey, thank you for the 10. Jesus Christ, man. Listen, guys, Samus versus Cortana. That's the battle today. All right, Samus versus Cortana. These are two highly beloved characters in history, and it should be very interesting. But as of right now, Cortana has a massive lead because of Black Tailgate deciding to throw in that $100 Red Boy Hyperbanger at the start of the stream, sounding off the first snipe, the first nuke, the first attack. It was amazing. It was amazing. But anything can happen, boys. Anything could happen throughout the entire stream. You already know how it goes, boys. Let me know in the super chats by putting the name first with a hashtag, so that way I know that it counts. And we're going to find out who's going to win today. Who is going to be our third semifinalist? We will find out today. Boys, let's do the Big Army roll call. Let's see who's in this chat right now hanging out with us on this beautiful Tuesday that's thankfully not a Monday. Who is here? We got Black Tailgate. We got Taffy. Dragatello. We got Dragon. Oliver Adam. Yamato 85. We got Mr. Melancholy. The Gaming Wolf 87. Striker X31. What's going on, dude? We got Signo. Captain Killer Guns is here. Taffy. Too Cool Curry. Bugsy is here. We got Dragon. Adair Soto. We got Draconic is here. Time Bound Howler. Monkey Man 04. We got Bebop. We got Mr. Blue Cthulhu. We got Shinfil. We got Spectacular Splash in the chat. We got Ghost 101 in the chat as well. We got Joel Jimenez. What's going on, man? We got Chaotic Holy. Who else is here? Timothy's here. What's going on, Timothy? We got Pemby's here. What's going on, man? We got, let me scroll down. Ron DFK is here. We got Mornblade is here. Alucard is here. Arclight's here. We got Ron DFK. Everybody touch the hat. We got Thanos is here. Lucky Boy is here. Christopher Lloyd is here. Scampus is here. We got Matthew saying, hello, please.
Hashtag Samus Aran. A friend of mine was kidnapped by extraterrestrials
That's
who
problematic.
later claimed him as a dependent on their galactic tax return.
Are you kidding?
In other words, he was deducted by aliens. Alien emoji.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, Don? Don! We're going to talk about that joke later. Don, thank you for the $9.89. I appreciate that, you crazy bastard. We got Matthew saying, hello, please. We got Sanguine Tales in the chat. What's going on, man? We got Adrian. Sorry, I had to. Oh, fuck. It's not even Christmas, bro. It's not even Christmas, bro. Why are you singing that? It is not even Christmas, bro.
Money for the poor. Cross mark emoji. Saying dumb shit live. White tick mark emoji.
That's true. That seems to be the thought process for a lot of people, clearly. Kikadonis, thank you for the 2. Dare Soto, it's not even fucking Christmas, bro. You singing me a Christmas song? Thank you for the 5. I appreciate it, my man. Adrian is in the chat. We got Pizza Cats in the chat as well. What's going on, man? We got, let me scroll down. Cozy Goober's here as well. What's going on, Cozy Goober? We got 2K Gamer Souls in the chat as well. We got, let me scroll up. We got Shinfil in the chat. What's going on, man? Frozen Dark is here. Archangelus is here as well. What's going on, dude? Sebrew 1138 says, I are here. What's going on, bro? Magni 32 is here as well. All right, boys, 4 more people. And then we're going to get on with the show, man. 4 more people. Let's fucking go. What do we got? We got, let's go to Rumble. We got T-Jab over on Rumble. What's going on, brother? We got Crash Collins over on Rumble as well. Draconic over on Rumble also. We got Kurakami over on Rumble. What's going on, my man? We got, let me scroll down. We got myself in the chat over on Rumble. We got Obsidian, Dark Obsidian, I'm assuming, over on Rumble as well. We got Bay Chicago on Rumble. We got Black Tailgate over on Rumble as well. What's going on, man? Life Ferret over on Rumble. And last but not least, we got USMC over on Rumble as well. And Fluffy Murder Machine on Rumble as well. All right, boys, listen, I called on as many people as I possibly could. Let's sacrifice your fellow Bigot Army member, and let's see who is going to get the final call-out money shot today, boys. Who is it going to be? Who is it going to be? Who is it going to be? Saint Reborn says, I mean, are we talking about Kirby Cortana or... brother, you tell me. You tell me, sir. You tell me. Who is going to get the final call-out money shot today, man? Let's see. So, we got the Voice of the Water says no Uno Reverse, Max Silver Ice Shields, Night Cloak activated, Booty Hole protected by emojis, a Kodiak Marmoset, Canada's Most Vicious Predator, ambushes the person down by 6, pummeling them so that they cannot defend against the money shot. That's really descriptive. Really descriptive. Goes to Monkey Man, Tuku Curry, Hutzel Bomb, Scrap Gamer, Scampus, and Secret Final Boss that says, nope, I'm going to send it down by 1 with all diversity in multiple different skin colors, down by 1, which goes to Matthew saying, well, oh my God, brother, come on, that is not... That is not defense. That is not... You just gave up.
I love you, you love me, let's sing Barney. Together, Hypna, come on, sing with you at Hypna.
Why is it calling me Hypna?
Me, let's sing Barney. Together, Hypna, come on, sing with you as Hypna.
I don't know what's worse, you trying to sing Barney or it calling me Hypna. You're making me sound like a fucking disease. Sorry, man, you got Hypna. What the fuck is that? What is that? Jesus Christ, man. Why'd you give up? Why didn't you defend yourself, Matthew, who always says, hello, please? What, Matthew? Come on, man. You gotta defend yourself, bro.
What the?
Jesus Christ. Holy shit, my man. You're sending out the hypnovirus? Well, I definitely did there, for sure. Matthew! You got to protect yourself, man. Come on, bro. All right, guys, listen. We got a lot we got to go over today. Before we do the membership train, listen very up. This is the topics for the day. We got to go over the Stellar Blade video from the background NPC. We've been meaning to do that for the last 2 days, and lots of chaos happens, and we never get to it. So we're going to do it first today. So that way we can make sure that we get to it, boys. So we're going to check out her video on Stellar Blade and get her take on the whole situation. I find it to be a very interesting video. So we're going to check that out. We're also going to check out, oh, look at this, man. It's somebody who's totally not who I think it is on an alternate profile trying to talk about something that nobody in the chat is talking about. IB Protocol says the hypocrisy of all the channels covering the petition claiming censorship. You're welcome for the content and views. Maybe do your research first. Free Stellar Blade. So this person doesn't realize, or actually, I'm sorry, this person does realize that I haven't even talked about the petition. This is somebody who I'm pretty sure is on an alternate account starting this petition and failing miserably at it. So if you want to talk about censorship, I will show you what censorship actually is like. Check this out. So we're gonna kick you the fuck out. We're gonna kick you the fuck out and keep not talking about your petition because again, it's completely fucking like just pointless. Let's kick this guy the fuck out. We're gonna put him on a timeout of let's do how long? Let's see. Let's just do permanent. Fuck it. Why not? He'll come back on another one anyway. That's censorship right there. We're not even talking about his. We have never once talked about his petition. We have never once talked about his petition. Get the fuck out, sir. This is a Wendy's. If you're trying to bait people, there are other YouTubers that will fall for that shit. That will give you all the attention you want. Get the fuck out. All right, boys, guys, listen. What happened? Oh, it's somebody who came in the last, like, I don't know. The last stream where we were talking about Stellar Blade, he started talking about his petition that I never even brought up. I didn't even realize there was a petition until he brought it up, which is exactly the point. It's exactly the point. It's somebody who I'm pretty sure I know who it is, but they're pretending to be someone else so that they can make that petition. And then, bro, again, I have never once talked about the fucking petition. Never once, because it has like 50 signatures, brother. Like, what is there to talk about? Anyway, guys, let's do it. We got a lot to talk about. First things first, we got to cover the background NPC video. Second thing, we got to cover the nonsense that's happening with Final Fantasy VII and the developer that decided to want to talk about, for some odd reason, I don't know why, queer representation in Final Fantasy VII remakes. We'll talk about that. It's an interesting little interview with them. Number 2, we got to talk about Lords of the Fallen being... I'm sorry, number 3. We got to talk about Lords of the Fallen being delayed. It's being delayed until 2027. Kind of all saw this coming, to be honest with you. God damn it, stop singing to me! Why is it calling me Hypno? What the fuck is that, bro? The Burger King Hypno? What is that? It makes me sound like a fucking disease, bro. Sorry, ma'am, you got Hypno. There's nothing we can do.
I will be cremated and put in an hourglass.
What?
That way I will never miss another family game night.
Oh my god,
Oh, no.
bro. That's dark. That is dark. That is dark, brother. That is dark, brother. Holy shit. Holy shit. Boys, listen. So we got to talk about Lords of the Fallen 2 being delayed. All right. We have to talk about that because, as you guys are aware, they announced that they're going to be releasing on Steam. They essentially bought themselves out of the Epic Games exclusivity contract that they had. And I'm super excited for the game. Ever since they announced that, I was like, yep, this is it. Ready to go. Excited. And unfortunately, well, it's not quite how it works. So we got to talk about it. Pretty sure it has a little bit to do, with GTA, but not really. Not really. We'll talk about it and why I think yes and why I think no. We'll kind of talk about it. So we got to cover that as well. And guys, we got to look at the brand new gameplay that was showcased for a video game that I'm also interested in. That I know some people are not, some people are, depending on, but I've always liked the Star Wars video games. I hated the new movies and hated the TV shows, but I've always thought the video games were fairly decent. They finally showcased gameplay for Star Wars Galactic Racer. And I've been interested in it ever since I saw the first trailer, but I've always wanted to see more. They finally released a showcase for it, so I want to check it out. It's like a 10-minute long video. We're going to check it out today and see what it has to offer and if it's anything that's very interesting. So we'll kind of go into that. And if we can cover some other fast topics, we will try our very best. Thank you guys for all the jewels I see in the chat. Is Lords of the Fallen hard? It can be sometimes, but it's pretty straightforward, honestly. So we got a lot we got to cover today, boys. We got a lot we got to cover today. So before we do any of that, man, we got a membership train. Listen, we got weirdos in the chat. We got great people in the chat. Everybody's here. That's the beautiful thing about this chat. Everybody's here, ladies and gentlemen. The weirdos and everybody in between, we're all here. Let's try to spread some love. Light this shit up green, ladies and gentlemen, and let's have a great Tuesday, especially since it's not a fucking Monday, because nobody likes Monday. All right, we all know that, boys. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen,
get in here.
All aboard.
Get in here.
The membership train.
Let's go. Black Tailgate already dropped 5 memberships. Like a badass. A Kick It Down has dropped a membership. Black Tailgate dropped another membership. Fucking badass. Lightberry dropped a membership over on Rumble. Thank you, my man. Appreciate it. You heard that? The lurkers hiding in the shadows. The lurkers hiding in the shadows. Adair Soto, thank you for the 5.
Remember the name. We are Hypnocast. Membership train.
Let's fucking go. Shout out to you guys. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. And not only that, guys, just an FYI, because I know I get asked this all the time. I am currently working on trying to come up with a way to showcase chats on the screen. It's a little bit annoying, not gonna lie to you, but I'm trying to figure out the best way that will definitely, I guess, showcase it the way that I want to showcase it. So I'm working on it, man. I'm working on it. Hypnotic, you must have superhuman strength to carry Leon all this time. He's fine. He's fine. Speaking of, we're not gonna. Hey, Guter Damas, thank you for the membership. Benjamin for the 2. I gotta restart the TTS. Hold on, let me restart it really quick.
Hashtag Pudge from Dota 2.
Hashtag Pudge from Dota 2 is fucking hilarious, bro. Thank you. Thank you for the 2. Appreciate it, Benjamin. We're not going to be having a stream tonight with Leon because Leon's doing something special for the anniversary for Sonic. He asked me if it was fine. I was like, yeah, no problem. Go do your thing. So he's going to be doing his thing with Sonic and hey, pause that. I didn't mean it like that. I'm talking about the stream. Anyway, so we're not going to be doing
It's
a Lords of the Fallen
how the
stream today.
weirdos cry about well-endowed female characters and now cry about kid characters and cry about Evie who isn't even endowed. Never listen to clowns who don't even buy or play games.
That last sentence especially. Always remember that. He hired a stripper in a Sonic costume. Listen, I'm not saying he did. You're saying he did. I'm not saying he did. Binoc, thank you for the 20, my man. I appreciate that, brother. Sincerely, thank you so much. And you speak nothing but truths, my man. I appreciate that. All right, guys, listen. Thank you for all the donos. Black Tailgate dropped a 5 membership banger at the beginning of the stream.
More memberships! More memberships! More memberships!
And considering that's the first one of the stream, you already know what that means. Hey, yo, Exodus, pause that. Hey, Exodus. Hold on, Black Tailgate, thank you for the 5 memberships, brother. Hey, Exodus, pause that. He said stripper in Sonic costume sounds like a great night. Bro, why? Pause that, sir. Pause that. That's a little strange for some change, man. Pause that. What are we doing? Unpause? No, you can't unpause that. Hey, once I pause, you can't unpause. I keep telling you, D-Draconic. Stop it. Anyway, Leon is finally going to put on the Sonic medallion. Oh, God, I hope not. I hope not. Otherwise, he really is going to become Leona. I hope not. Time him out? No, I'm not going to time him out. Guys, Black Tailgate, thank you for the 5 memberships. A Kickin' Donuts, thank you for the 2 earlier. Captain Killer Guns with the 5. Thank you, sir. Frozen Dark with the 5. Appreciate that. DJ Conic with the 10 banger for Samus. Thank you so much. And just a reminder, we do got a battle going on, so make sure to put one of these waifus' names at the beginning of your super chat so we can count towards the particular battle. BioT with the 5 for Samus. Thank you. I appreciate that. Mr. Melancholy with the 7 for Samus. I appreciate it. Monkey Man with the 5. Unfortunately, showing the rest of the chat that apparently Ascend is a thing. Dare Soto with the 2. Thank you. Monkey Man, thank you for that 5. DJ Conic with the 5 for Samus. Thank you, sir. Trey Burkhalter with the 5 is Biden, always as weird. Adair Soto with the 5 with the Ascend as well. And Panther with the 5, singing alto. I don't know why. Thank you for the 5. Trey Burkhalter with the 10 is Trump having a stroke. Appreciate it. Don Lewis with the 999 for Samus. Appreciate that. It seems like the Samus voters are trying to catch up to Black Tailgate. I wonder if they've been able to get the gap closed. I don't know. We'll see. Adair Soto with the 5. I appreciate it, my man. A Kickin' Donuts with the 2. Thank you so much. And then Adair Soto with another 5 and then another 5. I appreciate it. Ron DFK with the 5 for Samus. Thank you so much. And a Kickin' Donuts with the membership and Black Tailgate with the membership. Thank you, sir. Adair Soto with the 5. I appreciate it. Benjamin with the 2. And then Gunnar Damas with the 1 membership. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, my man. And then Binoc with that 20 bank. Thank you.
Costume.
You see what you did? You see what you did, Exodus? You see what you did, Exodus? You see this shit?
She's actually Rouge the Bat.
Do you see this shit? Now they're clapping the cheeks of the fucking... Bro. Bro, that is unbelievable. Okay? Unbelievable. Benjamin, you need to repent for that. Thank you for the 5, but you need to repent for that, my man. Sincerely. Over on Rumble, we only got 1, and that's Life Ferret with the membership. Thank you, Life Ferret. I appreciate that. All right, guys, listen. Thank you for all the donations. I greatly appreciate you guys are fucking amazing. I hope you're ready to have a good time. Are we ready? I'm ready. Are we ready?
Remember,
Fuck!
everyone use protection.
Wait, what?
Right, Hypno?
No, that's not right. I'm Puerto Rican. We don't use protection. Wait, what? No.
Isn't that right,
No.
Hypno?
No, that's not right. Spanish people don't use protection. What are you talking about? No, that is incorrect, Adair Soto. Incorrect. Get that shit out of here. That's not accurate. Get it out. No me gusta that shit. Get it out. Boys, you ready to have a good time? I'm ready to have a good time. Everybody's singing. I don't know why. I don't know why it keeps calling me Hypno. I hate that shit, bro. It's driving me crazy. All right, guys, listen. The first thing we are going to do is we're going to watch the background NPC video. All right, because we missed it the last 2 streams. We're going to do it this stream. We got to check it out, boys. I'm pausing the TTS for this one. It's going to be a main topic. So let's just get right into it, and let's not waste any time. Guys, it is time to go over the background NPCs video. Now, this particular video that I want to watch has to do... is a terrible pause, by the way. I'm sorry. Has to do with Stellar Blade, Blood Rain, obviously. We got to go over this situation because, you know, it's interesting to hear different perspectives about... you know, certain controversial topics. And this video is her talking about not just Stellar Blade Blood Rain, but also just, you know, video game female characters as a whole, as she tends to talk about. And I watched about half of this video. It's a very interesting video, so I wanted to watch the other half with you guys, considering what's going on with Stellar Blade Blood Rain, all the drama, all the controversy, all the weird people that are out there for some reason looking at this character and thinking that she's like, you know, 12 years old, and if for some reason thinking sexually about her at the same time. It's just a lot of weird stuff going on. So let's go over it and let's check out and see what she has to say about this.
The very first video I ever posted on this channel was called The Problem with Women in Games.
And I'm going to link this video, by the way, in the description and also in the live chat right now. So I'll link it to you guys.
And why it's killing hype.
Make sure to go support her.
Over the last year, we have come back to this topic several times, and I have expanded on my thoughts. But, you know, a very small optimistic part of me was kind of hoping that by now it would begin to fade into obscurity, become a distant memory. Well, if last week has shown us anything, unfortunately, that is not the case. But before we get into all of that, there actually was a ton that happened this past week. We saw lots of updates, news, reveals, and there is so much that I am excited about. First being Jeff Keighley's High Guard Redemption arc,
Yo, that bait and switch, bro. That bait and switch. She had God of War Laffy Taffy in the background, and then I thought that that's what she was going to be excited about. I forgot, but it's not. It's Jeff Keighley. I don't know if it's worse or better.
Even though the feed was stutter maxing almost the entire live stream, he got off to a great start by completely mogging both the State of Play and Xbox Showcase. Summer Game Fest opened up on Resident Evil Veronica, which is very exciting. I cannot wait for this remake. You guys probably know if I had to pick
don't tell Leon that. That'll make him very upset.
AAA dev that I think is really crushing it right now, it would be Capcom. They have been on such a roll lately. We saw the reveal for Final Fantasy VII Revelation, the third and final part of the remake trilogy, and learned that the lovely Tifa is joining Street Fighter. Monster Hunter Wilds is getting...
Are they still mad about that? Are they still mad about Tifa joining Street Fighter because they wanted her for Tekken for some reason? I remember that being a whole drama where people were upset that it was Yujiro in Tekken, and they were trying to, like, I don't know. It was weird. It was definitely weird, but
its big expansion. Anyway. Pow World is finally hitting 1.0 on July 10th, and I just know Nintendo was coping hard watching Jeff and the audience hype it up so much.
Me and Sheep are going to be playing that, by the way. Me and Sheep are going to be playing Power World 1.0. I've never played Power World. I've been specifically waiting for the official release for Power World, so I'll be figuring out something with Sheep where we're just gonna be playing Power World, man. I've never played it. Been dying to play it, but I've been specifically waiting because I don't like to play early access video games. So definitely look forward to that. That's gonna be a good time.
The Blood of Dawnwalker, the vampire RPG from the X-Witcher crew, is coming this September, along with any other game that has apparently ever been made, but it looks great. Onimusha, Way of the Sword, showed up at State of Play. I played through the demo and I enjoyed it, although Capcom, I do have to ask, what are we doing with that chatty inanimate gauntlet? Making me a little nervous. A very quick aside here, this actually reminds me of one of my minor complaints about Pragmata. Even though I loved the game, you and Diana did not give you a moment of silence. Stellar Blade Blood Rain was
well, that's because Capcom really likes their chatty characters. They love their chatty side characters. It is kind of annoying sometimes, but The gameplay usually makes up for it, but still, yeah, it's a thing.
announced, and I am very excited for this. And of course, we will be coming back to Eevee in just a bit. Mortal Shell 2 beta is out. I'm playing through that now. It's pretty impressive so far. Alien Isolation 2 is finally happening 12 years later, and
Let's
it
go
looks
to
incredible.
where she talks about God
Will
of War
IGN
Laffy
give this
Taffy.
game 4 Laffy? The new mainline God of War
Let's go to
game,
this.
confirmed by Sony themselves, that does not feature the God of War. And I knew as soon as this game was revealed, any feedback or criticism surrounding the creative decisions, the sidelining of Kratos in his own franchise, was immediately going to be overtaken by the gamers hate women crowd. And it has been very interesting to
Obviously.
see how it has evolved from you're sexist, you're just a gooner chud, to, you know what, if you'd rather play as Kratos in your God of War game, you're actually just gay. The discourse is based
Yo, you know what's funny about this whole situation actually is that we got to witness something that doesn't usually get to happen very often, which is a complete 180, almost like, bro, it was so fast. I can't even explain how fast. Like, what I'm talking about is we had God of War Laffy Taffy, right? That people were just so, they were like, oh, you just hate women, or like, you're sexist, misogynist, what, like typical stuff, right? Just, you don't want to see a woman, female lead, whatever. And then, dude, literally the next like couple of days, not even, it was the release of Stellar Blade, Blood Rain, and then all of a sudden the people who were like attacking the chuds for supposedly hating women, they realized that the chuds were celebrating a female protagonist, and then they immediately went to the pedo stuff. They didn't, bro, they didn't even wait. They didn't even wait. They're like, wait a second, no. You're not supposed to be saying these things. You're not supposed to be saying you're excited for a female protagonist. No. You're a PDF. Like, bro, it was unbelievable. They had zero time to actually think about it because it happened so quickly. So they just immediately went for their like trump card of like calling you a PDF with nothing, obviously nothing to back it up. It was just pretty wild. Pretty interesting to see.
basically a hydra at this point. Each time you chop off one gamers hate female characters accusation, 3 more grow back to take its place. And this gets us back around to the very start of this video, this ongoing pattern of female characters in games and how they are continuing to be misrepresented and treated in the West, most notably by AAA, and I'm tired, boss. First off, Sony was out here hyping up this state of play like crazy. We had a very early countdown, lots of industry buzz about it. They even brought it back to select movie theaters for the very first time since 2018.
Bro, imagine going to the movie theater and your grand finale was watching 20 minutes of God of War Laffy Taffy. Bro, I hope you didn't pay a lot of money. I really do. I hope you didn't pay a lot of money. Imagine being in that movie theater. Bro, I would have loved to see the reaction. Unless it was all just a bunch of shills that got invited, then it'd probably be whatever. But if it was regular people in there, I would love to see the reaction from these so-called, like, lovers of Laffy Taffy. It's like, come on, bro. Let's be real.
Even I was getting super curious about what was about to be revealed, but after they opened with Wolverine, my brain went 2 directions. The first being, no way. Are they actually the ones to get to show off more GTA 6? And the other being, oh, we're about to get more intergalactic, aren't we? Imagine my surprise, though.
Speaking of intergalactic, the heretic prophet, nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. Completely silent. Starting to think it's probably gonna rear its ugly head, no pun intended, at the Game Awards this year. But yeah, nothing about this game. It's been very quiet about this. I mean, don't get it wrong. That's pretty typical Naughty Dog. Especially when they're so behind on it, because last I heard they were crunching hard to be able to just to get a demo out. Like they've been suffering so hard just to get a playable demo out to the Sony executives to see if they want to continue with the way that their project is going. That's the last information that we had about it.
When it ended with God of War Laundry. After the 20...
It's God of War Laffy Taffy, okay? That's what I'm coining it as. Everybody else says laundry, I say Laffy Taffy.
minute reveal, within a few minutes, my whole feed was talking about it. Hot takes, memes, defenses of the defenses, people splitting into different camps, fans saying it is not a God of War game without Kratos. Why would we want to play as his 45-year-old dead wife? Other fans who are excited about it, and some people who just really hate the cube. However you dice it though, the backlash was real and pretty significant.
God of War Grandma, that's what it is.
And the fast reaction from Santa Monica on everything.
Just like people made fun of old Kratos because they were like, God, this fucking grandpa, he's running around here like, boy, Boy, but at least like Kratos had the legacy where people actually wanted to play as him. Nobody wants to play as Grandma. Nobody.
Was pretty telling. Pretty quickly after it all started, they went into full PR mode. Basically, this reassurance of, don't worry, Kratos is still the god of war. We promise we have so many more stories to tell with him. Please just come along for the ride with Faye. Although, given production timelines and the fact that Sony themselves called this a mainline entry, I know we've got the remakes coming, but probably we will not see a brand new Kratos game for, I don't know, 6 years
Another 6
or more.
years.
So
all the time that you've been waiting since Ragnarok, hoping to get another Kratos video game, now you got to wait double the amount of time because Grandma got to get her own game. Grandma got to get her own game because they demand it. They demand it over there. That's what's got to happen.
Promise from them is doing a lot of work, but my favorite part of this whole thing was when Domino's UK tweeted out that a God of War game with no Kratos is like a pepperoni passion pizza with no pepperoni. Some random intern being more in line with the audience than actual Santa Monica themselves, and instead of just ignoring it, Santa Monica fired back with, okay, thanks for the feedback, Domino's Pizza corporate account. And yes, I guess that is the best that they could do. Shortly after came the headlines defending them getting rage baited by a pizza company, and I don't see how any of this is how a confident studio behaves. You don't reassure people that hard and fast. You don't get baited by a pizza chain over a creative decision that is supposedly working very well, publicly saying that you're disappointed and hoping people will give the game a chance. You shouldn't have to put on a brave face just because of the latest entry in your decades-long established franchise. A studio that trusts its premise and its audience just shows you the game and lets it speak for itself. And funnily enough, in the same week, we got to watch a studio do exactly that. Over at Summer Game Fest, Shift Up announced Stellar Blade Blood Rain with a brand new lead named Evie. I think the gameplay and graphics look really incredible. I am very excited. It is looking a bit different from the first game.
I mean, to be fair, the graphics look pretty much like identical. Like, I know it doesn't mean that it's bad, but it's just like the graphics look identical. I don't really see like a visual upgrade in Stellar Blade Blood Rain compared to Stellar Blade. And again, that's not a bad thing. It looks basically identical.
Combat has shifted from the blade over to gauntlet. And
they might improve like the overall environmental design. Maybe that, right? Like they might improve like the world building perhaps, because the maps were kind of pretty, like they were really, tight and focused in Stellar Blade. So they might improve on that a little bit and just make it a little bit more open-ended and like better that design. But like graphically speaking, kind of looks the same.
In Melee, the music still sounds fantastic though. And it is self-published now, not by Sony. And even though I was really sad to see that Eve is no longer the main character, the studio said that Evie is connected to Eve and that the goal is not to outdo her, but to make a character that players can connect with even more. They also mentioned that while looks are important, they are not everything, and they are heavily focusing on Evie's personality and improving the writing, which I think is great. So now we have got two studios, both handing you a new female lead, and this is where the whole you just hate female characters thing finally shows its hand once again, because nobody is actually against female leads. We have had 30 plus years of beloved ones, plenty of which are my favorite characters, and the lineup that people are hyped for right now is stacked with them. The demand has never been...
All of this happened within a week, which made it so great. It honestly made it comedic.
No female leads. The demand is accept our female leads, but then when someone goes and creates one that doesn't quite fit into that narrative, it is, oh no, not that one. Faye is just the latest example of the whole Western AAA female character problem. Played by Deborah Ann Wall, an actual stunning woman nobody is disagreeing with.
Oh, holy sh! I've never actually seen the actress. Bro, my God, man, that is crazy. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand there's, professional photo, makeup, lighting, all that stuff. I get it. I understand, but holy shit. That's crazy. That's crazy. Anyway, there it goes. There it goes. That was years ago, though. Oh, got it. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. So we can age up characters, but we can't age down or like bring it back to whatever this is. I got you. All right, we'll just go with that. Yeah, that'll
That
work.
even
That'll
the
work.
people defending her design agree. They are sharing her real life photos going, you don't like this? See? She is gorgeous. And yes, she is. That is kind of the whole point. Even her current day photos, if you want to be super fair, when you put them next to the in-game model, there is a noticeable gap. And
even that is still different. Even that is still different. Even if you want to take her natural look compared to her glamour shot, even that is still different. Hey, at least they got the bumps though. They made sure to keep that. That's good.
And that gap is not on accident. Despite what we have been told, it is not a tech limit. It is not just the lighting. You can see it the second you put the two side by side. It's the same issue we've talked about on this channel 100 times already. The one that only ever happens in the West. Fable, Star Wars Outlaws, Mary Jane, and
Bro, go back to that Star Wars Outlaws one.
the
Hold
one
on.
that only ever happens in the West. Fable, Star Wars.
This will, like, I'm sorry. This will always be fucking egregious. I'm sorry. Like, I understand there's people out there, they want to be like, this is not happening. This is totally not happening. They want to kind of like, you know, close their eyes and shut their ears off and just like, you know, see no evil, hear no evil kind of a thing. It's not happening, not happening. But bro, this shit is fucking egregious, bro. And again, I've seen pictures of this particular actress that are not glamour shots. It is egregious. Either way, it's egregious. It's so bad. They even like broke her nose, and then they tried, when people called it out, they said that they made her nose look that way because she's an outlaw and she's been in fights or something like that. That was their excuse. That she's been in fights and that's why her nose is crooked. That's why they made her nose crooked. I'm like, bro, really? Seriously? You know? And again, like background NPC says, it's only the West, right? Like the Eastern studios have zero problems doing 1-for-1 for female characters. Zero problems. So is the technology just superior? You know, this is why like the conversation never leads to anywhere that'll make them look good, right? Because either you're gonna have to admit that the Eastern technology is superior, which we know it's not. We know it's not. We know it's not the technology. The technology is not superior, right? So we know it's not that. Or you are purposely... Actually, there's three options. Technology is superior, which we know it's not. The skill level is superior, which we know it probably is, right? Especially now more than ever. And the last would be, this is done purposefully. This is done purposefully, right? Which then, if it's done purposely, you have to ask why that is. And they never want to get to that point. They never want to get to that part of the conversation. It's one of those, like, it could be more than one of those three, but it's only really those three. So either your technology is inferior, which makes you look really bad considering you're spending hundreds of millions of dollars more per project than most Eastern studios, which I don't think that's what it is, or it's your lack of skill and you're doing this purposefully. I think it's both. I don't think it's one or the other. I don't think they're skilled but doing it purposefully. I think it's both lack of skill and you're also doing this intentionally too. But they'll always gaslight you, be like, no, what was the excuse they said? Who said this? I forgot who said this, but somebody in development said that, oh, like making the female face is very difficult because of the soft features of a female face. And I'm like, that's so interesting because you guys never had a problem doing it before with lesser technology and lesser graphical capabilities, and your competition all the way over the pond has zero problems doing it with either the same technology or their own technology. So how exactly is that? Like, how does that make any sense? Even, like, again, if you want to take politics out of it, take politics out of it. Just talk about the technology. How is any of that make sense? In what world does any of that make sense? You can call people chuds, you can call them whatever they want. That's not what's going to make what we're saying lack any sense whatsoever. What you're saying makes zero sense. Zero.
Outlaws, Mary Jane in Spider-Man 2, the new Jean Grey in Wolverine, actually most characters in that game. A beautiful actress or just a strong original design gets run through whatever the opposite of a beauty filter is, and we get handed the result.
Actually,
while everyone
hold on, time out. That's a great point that the chat's making, Sane Wizard. That's a great point. They have zero problems, one, for wanting people that aren't exactly the standard beauty type in real life. Because, bro, they have zero problems in the West to making sure that Deborah Wilson looks exactly like fucking Deborah Wilson. There was no problems with that. I guess her rounded ass head was really easy to scan or something, because they got no problems making sure that Deborah Wilson looks exactly how she looks in real life, to the point where she's basically the Pedro Pascal of video games, where we see her fucking everywhere. They got zero problems making sure she looks the way she's supposed to look. But the moment you have a conventionally attractive real life female that's gonna mocap for you, all of a sudden they just fall down the ugly tree? How does that, like, how the fuck does that work?
else insists it looks no different, or it looks fine, or it is just the technology. And to be clear, she's not hot enough is not my whole argument here. I am not saying every female character needs to look like a supermodel, but
they're gonna say that that's what you say, though. That's the problem. Like, they make sure that discourse is impossible. Like, we already know that. They're gonna pretend as if your argument is that you're mad that they're just not hot enough, and everything you say after or before that means absolutely nothing. And they're going to pretend that that's all it is so that they can downplay your argument and never have to actually have the conversation. They never want to actually have the conversation. They want to avoid it at all costs.
when it is this clearly intentional that she has been altered, that decision tells me you are either embarrassed or threatened, or you've got some other agenda, and you're indirectly saying that you do not think this character can be equally compelling and beautiful at the same time. Like, those two things cannot possibly live in the same person. This is nothing new.
They really do think that, for some reason, pretty female characters are incapable of being interesting from a personality standpoint for anything other than their looks. And it's also about, honestly, if you really want to go far, I kind of feel like a lot of it has to do with denying what they know the majority of their players actually want, because the majority of their players are male. So even like a semi-attractive female main character, they know that that's at least like somewhat important to a lot of players. Even if it's at like a 1% level, it doesn't matter. Like, it's still a thing. And there's no doubt that people have an easier time looking at more attractive characters than they do the ugly fucking characters. So they just sometimes purposely just don't want to do it, which again brings us back to the conversation of there's only one of three things that this could be, and none of them make you look good.
Caring how a character looks is not some gross gamer thing. Everybody does this. Movie fans, show fans, romantasy readers will go to war over the casting of their book boyfriend. The whole reason I initially got into Baldur's Gate 3 was because of countless girls posting videos of the pretty makeup and clothes that they were styling their tabs with. Pretending looks don't matter, or that it is somehow only a thing guys care about, is just dishonest.
Girls care about it more than guys. Girls care about it more than guys. Flat out. Just look in real life. Girls compete with other girls. They dress up to make themselves look like the baddest bitch in the room, because they're secretly competing with other girls. Like, yes, there are women out there that dress up for the attention of men, but for the most part, it's really just competition within themselves. It honestly, like, this whole thing, it's unbelievable, because most of these actresses that are being turned into creatures in the video games don't look like that in real life. They go the conventional way. They have makeup on. They make sure their hair is done. They do everything to do the conventional female things, but for some reason in the video games, they just completely drop all of that. Like, none of that exists whatsoever. It's kind of odd. I don't know.
And
kind of odd.
It kills the conversation before it can even start. And with Faye, there has even been a clear change from her design in the previous games. Well, she's supposed to look realistic.
Damn, I guess somehow she continued to age even though the bitch fucking died. Bro, it's like she died, but she continued to age anyway. It's amazing. It's great. It's fantastic.
Or she's dead. It's a fantasy game. There's mythological beings all around. One of your companions is a quippy jelly cube. They have just put her in this safe, generic fantasy look that is...
Honestly, again, God of War Laffy Taffy is really insulting the way that it is. Again, if you wanted to play the game as like Kratos and whatnot, I totally understand that. And I'm willing to have like those kind of conversations. But there is no conversation. There is zero conversation that is going to support or justify that fucking Jello cube in the background with the sword in its asshole doing the typical annoying sidekick won't shut the fuck up, hey, listen kind of bullshit. There is no excuse for that. Zero. That fucking thing is so annoying. It is like beyond. It completely makes this into your typical kind of female adventure, because for some reason And I don't know why that is. For some reason, whenever there's a female main character, they cannot go through the game without an annoying fucking sidekick. It really, like, even with Forspoken, it was the same thing. With Forspoken, you had fucking Jarvis on your arms that wouldn't shut up. It's like, it's for some reason, female characters have to have an annoying fucking sidekick. Why is that? Why can't they just be on their own? I don't know. Anyway, it's whatever.
Completely forgettable next to Kratos, and it's not only her, it is the whole creative direction between the quippy, inanimate companions, lack of Kratos, lack of Norse-specific mythology.
Actually, VTech King has a good point. A cube is easy way for them to animate for the developers. You're actually right about that, probably. You're probably right about that. Where they didn't want to bother having to animate and design a whole side character that was going to be talking nonstop, so they rather just make a cube they could have the same animations with. And that way they don't have to worry about like any kind of facial mocap or anything like that. Just make a fucking cube, you know?
Just this morning, I saw a tweet from Santa Monica sharing more info about the enchanted pink set of talking ribbons named Rue that will accompany Faye on her journey, which is exactly the tweet that I would come back to for inspo if I were creating my next Barbie fantasy game.
Oh, did they mocap the cube? Did they mocap the cube? Seriously? Oh my god, what, they put a cube costume on him? Jesus Christ. These budgets! The cube is mocapped? Is it really? Oh my god. Jesus. Bro, these guys just love blowing money, bro. What the fuck? What are you mocapping a cube for, man? God damn. Anyway, that's crazy.
Legitimately,
That's
if I
crazy.
did not know Faye was an existing character, I would not know that this was supposed to be a God of War game.
I can't believe you got a mocap fucking Jello, bro. You didn't? No, I didn't know. I didn't realize unless I saw it and I forgot. I didn't. They mocap Jello. That's great, bro. I can only imagine the conversation there. Like, yeah, listen, I know we could just usually animate it and stuff like that, but we really need this actor to mocap Jello, all right? So we need to make sure it's in the budget. Okay, he's asking for $300,000 a year. We got to make sure we pay him. So please, let's just make sure he has the money because, you know, this game is very important, okay? God of War Laffy Taffy is going to be nothing without the Jello sidekick. We need the Jello sidekick. We need it mocapped, Emily, all right? We need it mocapped. It's crazy.
Which, even if you take the title off of the cover art, it still doesn't look like a God of War game. But again,
It
if
doesn't.
that is not your cup of tea, it is still a female lead. So you just need to accept it. Or you might just hate women. Now, flip over to Evie.
True.
A studio hands you a new female lead. And despite some people missing Eve, including me, the overwhelmingly majority of the audience who likes this game was immediately excited. And for the record, I do think Evie is super cute. It is clear that they were going for an Alita type aesthetic, and
Yes, they
as a
were.
5'2" NPC myself, I am excited that we are finally getting a short queen in the
Oh, shit. 5'2"? She's 5'2"? No, you're a kid. Sorry. That's the rules. That's the rules. You're a kid. This entire video now is pedo bait. That's it. Done. Game over. It's over. I'm sorry, background. It
lead
is what
role.
it is.
But the same crowd that was just demanding you accept Faye as your new female lead once again goes, no, not that one. It is just a Gooner game. And then the real controversy, a whole wave of people calling Evie a literal child, and worse. Now, I have seen
Of
attacks
course.
coming from all sides. The internet is up in arms. Journalists have already been writing articles about it. And while I do think at this point the discourse has gotten a bit out of hand, to try and be
Always
as
does.
fair as possible, I will admit that the very first shot I saw of her face, I thought she looked a little bit younger, but looking younger and a child are two completely different things. A 20-year-old is going to look younger than a 30-year-old or even a 25-year-old. The creator also stated that they wanted Evie to be shorter and a little younger than Eve, which does look to be the case. And even if you want to cherry pick that one shot of her, after watching the rest of the trailer, it is completely
means
obvious
nothing.
she
It
is
means
an adult
absolutely
East
nothing.
Asian woman. Her full character model has even leaked at this point, further proving that we actually even got our first Evie cosplay, and she looks great. It is just so strange to me because petite features on an adult woman do not make her a child or childlike. A younger looking face on an adult
It does to the internet because the internet wants to project because, well, nobody wants to actually be an adult and have the conversation. That's really what it is. They just think it's easier to just be able to pass off something disingenuously as something that it's not, basically. Just because people are either scared to have the conversation or they know that people will take it out of context or they don't actually want to genuinely have the conversation, so they'll disingenuously represent it So it's just easier to just pass it off. Just be like, oh yeah, she looks like a 12-year-old. Yeah, that's right, that's accurate. Yep. And then it's like, so you're literally calling millions of women in real life like fucking 12-year-olds, bro? Like, is that, how exactly is that supposed to make them feel again? Like, from the people who supposedly say that they are, for women and support women, but meanwhile, the women that, well, not those. You can't support those. Those are the women that are like under 5'3" or weigh like 100 pounds or 110 pounds. It's like, yep, no, not that one. We can't support you. Sorry, you're shit out of luck. Okay. The fuck?
Adult woman, it does not make her a child or childlike.
Again, I just want to reiterate something that I said in my video about Stellar Blade the first time. I just want to reiterate something. Okay. You want to say she's too young. You want to say she's too young. Fine. Too young for what? For what? That's what I really, that's like, it's the question that goes unanswered, right? Because when I'm watching this video game and I'm seeing a little small android beat the shit out of Natiba with her pugilist fists and looking at her combat and shit like that, I'm not thinking about her age, because I'm thinking about how is she going to fuck up the people and with what weapons is she going to fuck them up with. Like, that's what I'm thinking about. So, like, when you're saying she's too young and that's the first thing that comes to your mind, I'm like, too young for what? For what? Like, what were you hoping to do? What were you thinking of doing? Like, too young for what? Were you hoping to fuck this character and then you saw the character and she looked too young and then you felt bad because you wanted to fuck her or something? Or like, what is she too young for? I don't understand this. I don't get this. And then they tried to do that with Eve as well, where they tried to say her face was pedo bait and she looked too young. Again, too young for what? Because last I checked, this is not a hentai video game. This is an action video game with a bunch of androids that fuck shit up. It's not a porn game. You're trying to make it a porn game because your brain is seeing it that way. And then again, the question is why? Why is your brain seeing it that way? Anyway.
Pull up any K-pop group or K-drama and you'll see this constantly. This is Lisa in her early 20s, one of the biggest pop stars on the planet. Same for so many Korean stars in their early 20s. And weirdly, we never saw this discourse over someone like Lily in the first game or Rebecca Chambers in Resident Evil. Both petite.
That's actually a good question. Like, where was this conversation with Lily in the first game? Because Lily is like pretty much identical, almost identical to Evie. And actually, if I'm not mistaken, when we first saw the trailer, I thought it was Lily at first. I thought it was Lily in the trailer. I thought that Lily was going to continue the second video game in a way, or they were showcasing Lily, and then eventually they were going to show Eve, and I didn't realize, like, oh shit, that's actually a brand new character. But I thought it was Lily at first. But nope, nobody said anything about Lily. It's crazy. Some of the people that are complaining right now about Evie didn't say a thing about Lily. So why is that?
Young adult woman. But the part that does kind of give all of this away, though, is that many of these same people tried this exact type of thing with the first Stellar Blade.
Yes,
they came after Eve as hard as they possibly could. Male gaze, offensive, unrealistic. I've even seen receipts now of the time when people claimed Eve herself had a childlike face. The whole thing did not land.
Bro, let's go back to that. Except with Stellar Blade, they didn't alter her face. They made it separately, and they made the face look like a 5th grade child. Meanwhile, the person they modeled the body of, gorgeous woman, especially her face, Eve could have looked completely like her, but she doesn't. A 5th grade child. So Eve's face is a 5th grade child. Again, it's like this is one of these comments where I just have to, like, there's no way that you're real, right? There's no way that you're real. There's no way that you actually believe that. There's no way that there's a human out there that actually fucking believes that Eve's face looks like a 5th grade child. And if that's the case, I don't know what kind of 5th grade children you're around, but I would probably get them far away from you as fast as possible. Like, immediately, brother. There's no fucking way, dude. You have to be a troll.
Time when people claimed Eve herself had a childlike face. The whole thing did not land. The game was a hit. Fans loved it, of course. In the second game, fresh off of all of the Laufey discourse, with everybody already worked up about women in games, they were always going to come and swing even harder. And this time, the swing has shifted to the worst thing that they could think of. She's literally a child. But like I said, it is not just Evie.
Because the first time failed, so they have to go hard at the second time. When their backs are against the wall and nobody's listening to them and nobody's taking them seriously, they start slinging around the most disgusting thing they could possibly sling around in the hopes to get attention. Because that's what it's really about. It's really about just gaining attention and trying to destroy the video game for whatever reason that may be. They just have like this personal vendetta around the game. Again, you're allowed not to like the game, by the way. Like I've said this many times, like there's a difference between not liking the game and actively trying to get the game taken down by making petitions and fucking reporting the game to payment processors and doing all this kind of odd shit. That's where you go a step too far. But if you just don't like the game and you want to talk about you not liking the game, of course you're allowed to do that. The discourse is allowed to happen, of course. You know, you're allowed to say you like it. You're allowed to say you don't like it. But you go so far when you want to start like taking it away from others because you don't like it. That's when it's like, all right, well, that's going to next level ridiculous, you know?
Was also problematic. To be was unrealistic. There was a time Bayonetta was not accepted. The new Lara Croft needed dragging for wearing makeup. A fully clothed, high collar character like Amelie from Knight's Path was just called unrealistic and tradwife.
Bro, Knight's Path gets attacked so much. Every time they post one of their female characters, they get accused of it being tradwife porn. I don't even know what the fuck tradwife porn even is, but it sounds retarded. And these characters are just like basic, like I don't want to call them basic women, but they're literally basic, bro. There's nothing to them outside of just looking like normal women, but apparently I guess that's just too much. That's too much now to be a normal woman. Bro, it's so weird, man.
And that unrealistic claim gets me every single time because where was this realism crowd for something like Baldur's Gate 3? A game that I love, game of the year, but also a game where if you wanted to, you could take Shadowheart, Bazel, and Karlach into battle completely booty naked with.
Well, so this is how it goes, right? Save horny, Gunner bait. That's how it goes. Oh, trad means traditional? Okay. Got it. They can't just say traditional. They got to say fucking trad, really? Like, I'll be that lazy? Yeah, like, this is, like, again, save horny on the right. Totally allowed to be goon to. You can say all the disgusting things you want online about it. Perfectly fine. It's accepted. Everybody will praise you. Same thing here. You can say whatever disgusting thing you want. Perfectly fine. All good. You can talk about how much you goon to this character. All good. The moment you go here, unless she's a lesbian, specifically, you're not allowed to goon to it. It's too normal. Can't do it. Not allowed. Even though people do, obviously. But not allowed. Can't do it. You know? Same thing with Eve. With Eve, especially if it's Eastern. Oh, bro, if it's Eastern, it doesn't even matter if it's like a lesbian character. If it's Eastern, they're just not having it. It's immediately gooner bait. It's immediately male gaze. They're not having it. They don't fucking care.
No mods required. Why didn't they show up for 1348 Ex Voto with a female lead in a full practical suit of medieval armor? Because it was never about realism.
Spanish says conservatives complain about gooning the fictional characters too. Well, see, okay, so I don't know if you noticed, but again, I'm not using political affiliation in a conversation that doesn't have political affiliation. Okay? I'm talking about this from a non-political standpoint, meaning if you're somebody who considers these characters to be safe, horny, and acceptable, and then you complain about someone being attracted to the supposed normal character, there's something probably wrong with you. There's something probably wrong with you. I don't give a fuck about your left or right battle. I don't give a shit about that. I'm talking about flat out crazies everywhere. Doesn't matter which side.
It is about which women in which games are allowed to be attractive, and underneath that, it has never really been about female leads at all. It has always been, no, not that one. The second a female character threatens the narrative or the developers, she is shoved out the door, insults flying, a pawn that gets moved off the board the moment that she's inconvenient, but finally, moving away from character design, we do have to address the other elephant with God of War, the repeat pattern of male-led franchises being handed to female leads. Now, I don't know. God of War Laffy
Oh shit, she's going here. Oh no. All right, suit up for God of War Laffy Taffy. Here we go.
could end up being a great game that fans unite together on and end up loving. I don't know the future, but even if that does happen, it is obvious that Santa Monica is making a lot of creative decisions with this game that at the very least are sparking a lot of backlash from their fan base.
Listen, it doesn't matter if the game is good or not, okay? Nobody's talking about whether the game is going to be good or not. Do you see people arguing about that? No. What people are talking about is the fact that when somebody thinks of a God of War video game, they're not thinking about Atreus. They're not thinking about Faye. They're thinking about Kratos. And to suddenly pretend like that's not the case and that's never been the case and that God of War didn't always mean Kratos, of course it did. Even in the first game, when he becomes the God of War, it doesn't matter. Every video game, God of War, you think about Kratos. Kratos is the God of War. Is there other gods of war in the lore? Absolutely. But the God of War is Kratos. It's just like the conversation that we have with Spider-Man, where can Miles Morales be a Spider-Man? Yeah, sure. There are plenty of Spider-Men. But the Spider-Man, the actual Spider-Man, will always be Peter Parker. So you could be a God of War, but you're not going to be the God of War, right? Same thing with this. You could be a Spider-Man, but you're not going to be the Spider-Man. There's a difference. It's really that simple.
Quippy blue cube, sparkly talking ribbons, and quirky millennial dialogue to playing as Faye herself. At the heart of it, you've still got a beloved male-led franchise that is doing great and has been around for the last 20 years. The studio then decides it wants to tell a woman's story, which is completely fine, but instead of building her a brand new world, they hand her an existing one and move the original lead into the passenger seat or the trunk. And I think that if this was just a one-off thing, not a consistent pattern, people might not be so vocal about it. I don't know, it's hard to say because the tone.
I'll say this. Do I think people would be upset about it? Yes. Do I think people would care as much if it was a video game like God of War Sons of Sparta, where it was an obvious spin-off and not a mainline video game that's going to force them to have to wait another 6 to 7 years before they can play as Kratos? I mean, that remains to be debated, right? I think that they wouldn't care as much. I think if it was a spin-off video game like Sons of Sparta and you got to play as God of War Laffy Taffy, then I think that people would complain, but they wouldn't care as much. You would not be hearing this much backlash over a little spin-off video game. The problem is this video game is a mainline video game that took up hundreds of millions of dollars of resources and many, many years of time in order to develop, which now means that you got to wait for another many, many, many years and hundreds of millions of dollars later to potentially get another mainline Kratos game. That's potentially, meaning if they don't want to pull a Spider-Man 2 and the next God of War, whatever that game may be, you're forced to play as fucking Laffy Taffy and Kratos for like half and half of the game, you know? Like half is Laffy Taffy, half is Kratos. They still might try to pull that off in this game, by the way. They still, and I've said that before, they very well may try to let you play as Kratos in Laffy Taffy for like the, for like 10% of the game. Kind of like what they do with Atreus. But again, I never liked the Atreus segments in the God of War newer video games. I fucking hated Atreus. I'm sorry. Other people might like Atreus. I hated it, personally. I just want to play as Kratos. That's just me. But whatever. It's like, yeah, I get it's his son, and like that's part of the story. Mommy died, and they're trying to take the ashes. I get all that. Right? I get all that. But anyway, let's continue.
Tone is pretty different too with this one, but Sony Studios just can't stop doing this. Naughty Dog killed Joel and handed you Ellie, and then made you play as Abby for half of the game. Uncharted spun off without Nathan Drake at all, just Chloe and Nadine. Ghost of Tsushima does huge numbers, and
I mean, there is no denying this list. Some of it makes more sense than others, right? Some of it makes more sense than others, but ultimately the idea is the same. So there is no denying, like, I guess, like the pattern and the trend that's happening here. Whether some of it's more understandable than others, you can argue that, obviously, but there is no denying that this absolutely is happening or has happened already.
the follow-up, Yote, is not Jin's story anymore, it is Atsu's. And not Sony, but same thing with Geralt finishing his story in Witcher 3, and now Witcher 4 belongs to Ciri. Now, to be clear, I love Chloe, I love Ellie, I love Siri, and I don't think playing as them is a bad thing, but it is about what they keep being used to do and any type of discourse that follows. Replacing or
I don't know if I would say I love Ellie. I feel like Ellie is a fucking annoying bitch. Especially in the first game. I'm sorry. Like, yeah, I know she's had it rough. I get it. And, you know, but I just kind of found her annoying. I'm not going to lie to you, bro. But anyway.
sidelining a beloved protagonist, any protagonist, a man or woman, will inevitably get pushback. That is very normal. We just talked about it with Evie replacing Eve, and it even happened with something as beloved as Red Dead 2. But the second it's a woman stepping into a man's role, the conversation just ends because suddenly you're not allowed to ask whether it was a good creative call, whether it still appeals to the target audience, whether it's something that fans can rally behind, because now you hate women. And this is not specific.
I like how she said that 3 times, perfectly timed in the video, by the way. Like, yeah, by the way, you hate women. No, it's true. Like, for some reason, I don't know if you guys noticed this when having conversations online about these video games. Every time they do this, every time they build up to the eventual replacement of the male figure lead with whatever female character they want, they always go, and not just them, like the entire Access Media and shill YouTubers and everything, they all go within like a day, within 24 hours, they go on this like tirade about, it's like a justification tirade where they will, like, you'll have Wikipedia warriors come out, you'll have everybody under the sun come out, suddenly pretend like they always cared about this character and she's the most amazing thing ever, and then they'll go on this like 24 to 48 hour tirade about having to explain why it's justified and why she should, whoever that she may be, why she should be in the lead now. Notice how they never have to fucking justify the male leads. They never have to justify it, even to the people that supposedly love all the female characters. They never have to justify it. But the female characters, they just all like nonstop justification. You'll get a whole bunch of actually warriors, or you'll get a whole bunch of Wikipedia warriors. You get all these people that all of a sudden just totally always wanted this game to exist. Meanwhile, they've been fucking MIA for the last like 10 to 15 years, probably even longer than that for this franchise. They've been MIA. Never once heard anybody be like, damn, we need a game based on Faye. Never heard that anywhere from anyone. Literally anybody. Notice how they're not pulling the justification narrative for the character, the brother that's about to take over in Control 2. Like Signo in the chat says. Nobody goes on a justification tirade for him. Gee, I wonder why. Even though I'm one of the people that is like, hey, kind of don't like the idea of playing as a new character. I kind of want to go back, you know, even though I get it, like she's searching for her brother. I get that, like as part of the, you know, story in the first game, but kind of want to, you know, it's like nobody has to justify him. Why is that? Because nobody cares to justify it. They don't care to justify it.
To gaming, the same move has played out across Marvel, across Star Wars, the Force is female thing, sold as being more inclusive, but it tends to land as taking something that people, mostly men, love, deciding it's problematic, and then fixing it for the modern audience. And that tells me it is not actually about telling women's stories at all. I think if that were the case, we would probably see a lot more brand new stories and characters standing on their own. It is more about coming down on masculinity and breaking existing toys, because it really—
Actually, Alan, that's a good point. Imagine swapping Sora for Kyrie in a mainline video game. Yeah, I know.
only ever runs in one direction. When is the last time you saw anyone ever take an established and very well-known female lead and swap her out for a man? The next Horizon game is not going to be led by Erend. Lara Croft's next adventure is not going to sideline her for Winston the Butler.
Nope.
The Alien franchise is not going to cast a man as the lead role for their next movie. Which, again, like I said, is kind of where the Stellar Blade sequel shows us another angle. Shift Up has seemingly benched Eve for a brand new lead. And while I am going to really miss her, this is completely different from the God of War situation. Evie still fits the world extremely well and is someone that the existing audience would want to play as. Despite their differences, you cannot tell me that she does not fit the existing Stellar Blade expectations. I mean, come on, they are clearly still building this game for their target audience. And
well, so it's also a thing where you have a franchise that is brand new, right? You have a brand new franchise. People obviously fell in love with Eve. It was one video game. Now you have the second video game, and based off how the first video game ended, especially if you got the what do you call it, the Lily ending, where what do you call it, Eve and Adam fuse, right? Like that ending. Sorry for spoiler alerts, guys, but it is what it is. The game's old already. Like when they fuse, that ending kind of leads to the idea of potentially there being more with other characters as Eve goes and does her own thing. I can see it. I can see it a lot more for sure. Because again, it's a brand new franchise. There is no history behind it, and it's kind of building its own history. But when it comes to God of War, we're talking about decades. You know what I'm saying? Decades, literal fucking decades of history of Kratos. So there's a bit of an expectation that's been built up there from people that play these games, and they're like, "Yep, can't wait to play the next God of War game as Kratos. What do we got next?" You know? And now you're kind of hit with, well, actually, we got his wife. You like that, right?
They even split from Sony
like
to
that,
do
right?
it on their own terms. And that's the part that kind of made this whole week a little funny to me. After all of the discourse started with God of War, I knew that if I was just a little patient, this argument would settle itself in record time. Enter Summer Game Fest and all of the other titles featured across Xbox and PlayStation, where it fell apart pretty quickly, and we saw such a celebration for women in games across the board. Resident Evil Veronica, Final Fantasy VII Revelation, and Street Fighter VI, 1666 and
Nobody talks about that. No, like nobody talks about the fact that nobody's got a problem with Tifa, Aerith. Nobody's got problems with any of these video games that she mentioned. Even 6066 Amsterdam, people just didn't like the demo from what I understand, but nobody's got a problem with these characters. Nobody ever complained. But this particular character, they know why people are complaining. They know why people are complaining. They just don't want to actually admit why people are complaining. They rather disingenuously represent why people are complaining about the game. And they just gonna just try to simplify it in the way that benefits them. That's basically it.
Amsterdam, Gundam, Rogue Orbit, Alien Isolation 2, Ace Combat
Wretched says Yuffie is literally 16. What does that have to do with anything? I'm confused.
8, Castlevania, Belmont's Curse, Beast of Reincarnation. I'm sure there's more that I missed, but plenty of games with upcoming female leads or prominent female characters that fans are super excited for. I don't think anyone is mad that Faye exists, and I'm sure a lot of people probably like her as a character, but even if you think the game will be good, taking a beloved male protagonist in his own series and giving him the same treatment that we continue to see happen while also tonally changing the game, and then not understanding how there could be pushback, is why we will continue to see this discourse happen. Players are tired of pointing at something with their own two eyes and being told that it is not happening.
Because they think Eevee's too young, but they have no problem with Yuffie and swimsuit scenes, etc. Ah, okay, makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, I know she's 16 in the original games. I know that. In Advent Children, I think she's 18, and Dirge of Cerberus, I think she's 19. Most people forget that in Dirge of Cerberus, she turns 19. But yeah, in the original Final Fantasy VII, she's definitely 16 years old. So you're not wrong there.
While gaming in general has always skewed male.
But again, it's not about consistency. It's not about consistency. It's about they don't like this particular video game. This particular video game is the target. They think it's an easy target. And that's what they're going for, you know?
God of War in particular has always leaned hard in that direction, and that is not to say that women do not enjoy the series as well, but it is not hard to understand that many fans would of course rather play as Kratos in a God of War game than his dead wife. It's kind of like a bully on the playground who has been smacking you around every day for years, and you've just been taking it because that's how it's gone for as long as you can remember, until one day you catch his hand and you tell him to stop hitting you, and he looks at you like you are the one that has the problem. We are not the bullies for asking the smacking to finally stop. And all of the pushback lately in general, not just Laufey or the ongoing female character debate, but Mixtape, Stop Killing Games, players voting with their wallets, tired of paying more for getting less, voicing what they think.
Yep.
The sheer venom that pushback always gets from journalists, the internet, or just people in the industry is exactly how you know that it's landing. They would not get this rattled if the pushback was not doing something. A AAA gaming.
Well, that's why the National Defense Force against the Chuds. You know, that's what I like to call them, the National Defense Force against the Chuds. They come out anytime video games like this are announced because they have to, right? Like this is what they care about, or I should say, this is what they say they care about. Because the ironic thing is that if you really look at the games that these supposed anti-chuds are playing, they're all playing video games that the chuds are playing. They're all playing the same fucking video games. They just don't want to admit it. Those are the video games that get the most hours. If you look at their profiles, if they even dare to admit it or show their profiles, you'll realize that they're playing mostly video games that the chuds are playing too. But, you know, for optics' sake, because optics are everything, they have to say that these games are the games that everybody wants. These games are the games that the normal people want. These are the games that we need to see more of. But they're not the games that they're actually going to be paying for. They're not the games that they're actually going to be playing most of the time, unless they're getting paid to play it, which some of them do when they review the video game, obviously. You know? But that's all it is. That's all it is, man.
Studio would not
We're
be
almost
firing
done.
back at a pizza company's goofy tweet. And unless these companies can fully support themselves on this modern audience that they are constantly seeking,
Yes, you heard it here first. The NDFAC, that's what I call them. The National Defense Force Against Chuds. It's only a matter of time before they take that statement and try to coin it as if they came up with it first. But you heard it here first, boys. That is what the Access Media is called. The National Defense Force Against Chuds.
until they remember what and who they are
Net
building
fact.
for,
Net
this
fact.
will just keep happening over and over again. All right, if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much.
Great video. Great video from the background NBC. I'm going to link it right now in the chat for you guys. If you're not subscribed to her, consider checking it out and giving her some support. Obviously, want to give her some views and comments and all that stuff. Great video. And yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, she hit the nail on pretty much everything. Where it comes down to, they know why people are upset. They know why people don't want to deal with this nonsense. They know why people have their thoughts and their complaints, which you're allowed to have. It's not like we're reporting God of War Laffy Taffy to the payment processors and trying to pretend like it's somehow Gooner bait. We're not doing that, right? But, you know, people are allowed to have their conversation about it, and they're allowed to say they don't like it. But, you know, when you say you don't like it, that makes you a chud. When they say they don't like the thing that you like, well, that just makes them fucking based. That makes them progressive. That makes them, you know, whatever it may be. It's unbelievable. So, but that's great video. Great video from Background NPC. Glad we finally got to watch it. We got some other topics we got to cover. I'm going to resume the TTS really quick just to catch up to see what you guys have to say. And then we're going to move on from there, boys. Let's fucking do it. Let's get it. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. Hopefully nothing crazy. Although, let's be real. It's our chat. It's always crazy, right?
I actually want TFA and Tekken and Yujiro Hammer too. I like eating cake and having it too, by the way, Carlos. Hashtag air fryer.
Hashtag air fryer.
Hashtag
Wow.
Samus Aran.
I will take the bab with the guns over the clanket with...
What? What the fuck is that? Oh my god, bro. Oh my god,
Hashtag
that's
Cortana.
crazy.
I
Speedy
have
King,
mad
thank you.
respect for the Resident Evil remakes because they were absolutely accurate to the models used for their faces.
They were.
Specifically Claire,
They were.
Jordan McEwen, and Jill, Sasha Zotova.
They were. Again, it
Femchar
shows
and
that it's
annoying
possible.
Char are subverted in Atomic Heart oddly enough. Charles is actually charming glove man and P3 is annoying.
Thank you, Benjamin, for the 5. Thank you, Black Tailgate, for the 10, by the way. I appreciate that.
There is not enough backlash for Control 2.
That might be it. That might be it. It might be where, again, NetFac. We're gonna start calling them NetFac. That's what it is. So the National Defense Force Against the Chuds, you know, if the Chuds are not complaining about a video game, well, then they're not going to talk about it, right? They only talk about video games that ideologically align with them, or they talk about video games that the Chuds are having a problem with. That's the only 2 times they ever actually speak about anything. Everything else kind of gets just washed under the, you know, it gets put under the rug. Let's just say that. It gets put under the rug. They don't care. You know, nobody talks about that. But that's the only thing NetFac actually talks about. It's one of those 2 things. It's actually amazing. Let's check Rumble really quick, and then we're going to get into the next topic. Hold on. We got Draconic dropping a membership over on Rumble. Thank you, my man. Appreciate you. Guys, we do have a battle going on really quick before the next topic. We are deciding today for another semifinalist, all right? We got to choose our 3rd semifinalist in this tournament. And right now, today's battle is Samus Aran versus Cortana. So you guys got to let me know in your super chats. Put the name at the beginning with a hashtag in front of it. That way it counts. And let me know who you're voting for. And we'll pick a winner. We'll pick a winner at the end. All right, boys. Let's do a little bit of a cleanser.
Hypno, it is the Revenge of Chudera 2026.
The Revenge of the Chuds. That should be a movie. That should absolutely be a movie. Who's winning? Right now, Cortana is winning. Cortana, I believe, is winning. But there was a lot of supers for Samus, so she might have caught up little by little. All right, guys. I'm pausing TTS for now. All supers will be read after this. Let's do a palate cleanser. I want to talk about Star Wars Galactic Racer. And then after this, we're going to get into the Final Fantasy VII topic. I want to talk about Star Wars Galactic Racer because unlike the movies and TV shows, I haven't completely given up on Star Wars video games because honestly, a lot of them are pretty decent. They may not be amazing, some of them, or some of them are, to be honest with you, but some of them are pretty decent. And this one has had my attention ever since I saw it. I think it was like, I forgot which show it was. Summer Games Fest. I don't really remember. Probably even before that. Maybe the Game Awards. But this game looks pretty cool. And I need to have a palate cleanser. So let's check out Star Wars Galactic Racer. This is a 10-minute breakdown video showcasing some gameplay never before seen. And this is really going to decide, you know, my level of interest in this game moving forward. So
if you ask me, Disney's been pretty smart in recent years about its Star Wars video games. Instead of relying solely on its small group of internal development teams, as it did a long time ago in a gaming galaxy far, far away, or signing an exclusivity deal with one single publisher, as it did last decade with EA, the mouse now hands its licenses, Star Wars included, to absolutely anyone with a great pitch.
Really good.
And we've already had one Game of the Year caliber masterpiece come out of this strategy. That would be 2024's Indiana Jones and the Great Circle from the Riddick and Wolfenstein veterans at Machine Games. And so, when Lucasfilm first announced Star Wars Galactic Racer earlier this year as a collaboration with developer Fuse Games, who counts a number...
Bro, yo, Oliver Adams says something so accurate. Can you imagine an F-Zero like this? Man. Dude, I want an F-Zero so bad. Like, if they did a modern F-Zero video game, I think that would actually be a system seller for me. That would be a system seller for me, bro. I swear. I would, dude, unless, but it wouldn't come out on Steam, obviously, Nintendo. So yeah, I would absolutely, that would be amazing, bro.
Number of Burnout alumni in its ranks, my optimism immediately skyrocketed. A Star Wars racing game made by people who have some of the best arcade racers ever made under their belts? Yes, please. And now that I've finally had the chance to play Galactic Racer,
good,
I don't need to search my feelings because I already know it to be true. This high-speed roguelite, more on that in a bit, racer...
Is this thing a roguelite? Oh my god, bro. Don't ruin it. Don't fucking ruin it, bro. Just make it a high speed, like super high speed racer, chaotic like that. Oh man! All right, let's let him explain.
Is an absolute blast.
Welcome to Durban Acos.
Why does everything gotta be a fucking roguelite?
Are born and losers annihilated.
The setup is simple. You're Shade, a semi-willing participant in the galaxy's renegade racing circuit, out amongst the Outer Rim, where rules and laws are more like requests and polite suggestions. I say semi-willing because Shade would rather lay low and avoid Kestar Bool, a powerful enemy who has both the means and enough pettiness in his bones to make your life difficult if you get in his way. But that eventually leads you to, in turn, want to knock Bool off his comfy perch. And so you'll race speeder bikes, skim speeders, land speeders, and yes, pod racers in a series of events in order to advance up the ranks and through the entire circuit to get to the top spot.
Yes.
Galactic Racer builds this in a roguelite loop that, if I'm being honest, I was extremely skeptical about prior to playing it for myself. My first thought was, don't we have enough roguelites out there already? The answer is still probably yes, but to Fuse
yes, the answer is only yes. The answer is only yes. Like, we have too many fucking roguelites out there. Developers are relying on the roguelite loop to make up for the fact that their video games don't actually have enough content to keep people interested, so they rely on the roguelite loop in order to justify the lack of content and to say, yeah, you could get 50 hours to 100 hours out of this game when it's really like a 4-hour video game. I hate it so much. I really do. So depending on the mechanics, obviously, because again, I gotta hear them out, but depending on the mechanics, we'll see how it works. But I can't stand it.
Credit, how they've wrapped the roguelite template around Galactic Racer makes a ton of sense. You
Does it
customize
really?
your character, make your vehicle your own through earned cosmetic
That's sick.
unlocks, and most importantly, build your ride to your preference with the gameplay affecting abilities that you earn through winning races. But the Outer Rim is a ruthless place, and this circuit isn't one for second chances, so you can only race by earning a league token. If you lose it in one of the Eliminator races you'll inevitably come upon during your run, and yes, they operate exactly the same as Burnout's Eliminator races, in which the last place driver is disqualified from the competition at the end of each lap, you'll have to start the run all over again. But in classic roguelite fashion, you'll be able to bring anything you've previously unlocked to the table as you have another go at it. And the Eliminators are no joke, I should add.
You seriously added fucking cards to a racer game? Oh god. I know it's existed out there before. I know, but it's like you just made this pretty damn unappealing. Like I just wanted a fucking straightforward racing high speed racing video game, which to be fair, the gameplay does look pretty good. I'll admit, the gameplay looks good, high speed. Really like it. I like the environments, the customization of the ship so far. That's cool. But bro, you really putting roguelite elements into this shit? Why, bro? Why? Why was this necessary?
In my 45-minute hands-on time, I did the first race or two in my run after customizing my character and then jumping right in, but then immediately hit my first eliminator. I got too aggressive going for a takedown in one early race turn and ended up putting myself into the wall near the end of a lap, without enough time to get back out of last place before I got eliminated. Oh, and the takedowns, by the way, are exactly as you remember them from Burnout, right down to using a nearly identical camera angle when you see the slow motion wreck.
Oh shit.
Did everyone see that?
See, that's cool.
Anyway, I had to start the run again from scratch.
So I guess that's the roguelite element, right? That's the roguelite element. Not necessarily the losing your stuff and keeping like whatever you had before. It's the fact that you got to start the whole thing over from essentially scratch, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
Quickly learned that the CPU Racer AI means business in Galactic Racer. I was stunned to have been bounced from the tournament so quickly, but honestly kind of impressed. It made me steel myself for the next run where I did a heck of a lot better.
Put up a fight next time.
But I'm getting a
I feel like they're just essentially taking modern terms, like roguelite wording, and trying to apply it to certain things that have already existed in racing games before. But you know, maybe I'm going crazy.
little ahead of myself.
I'm a little bit confused. I'm not gonna lie to you on this. I'm a little confused. And this is what I mean. Like, it should just be straightforward. It should be as straightforward as possible. I wonder how this is gonna is any of this gonna be affected in multiplayer? I hope multiplayer is straightforward. At the very fucking least, multiplayer should be straightforward. Don't put all this extra shit in it.
More to say about the racing portion of Galactic Racer, obviously. I want to give props to the on-foot sections that you'll experience between races. In them, you roam around each planet's paddock. Think of these kind of like the infield areas of a NASCAR race, and can talk to fellow racers, upgrade your ship with Hebe the monkey-like mechanic, tweak your character's or vehicle's appearance, or chat with the organizer of this whole thing, Darius Pax, a big voice, big personality creature who sounds a bit like he's channeling Danny DeVito's Penguin from Batman Returns.
Bro, that mustache is crazy, bro. Crazy mustache.
Of course. And your timing is impeccable as always.
When you're ready to hit the track, you have a couple of interactive moments that can give you an initial gameplay advantage. The first is your ignition sequence. Regardless of what vehicle type you're piloting, if you successfully hit the prompted button sequence in the brief window of time allotted, you'll begin the race with a bonus, like your afterburner being primed and or your shield being fully charged up and ready to deploy right at the starting line.
That's cool.
I'll note that the sequence was the exact same in every single one of my races, so hopefully they're all randomized in the final October 6th release just to keep me on my toes a bit more. And
it's kind of like Helldivers stratagems.
The second pre-race opportunity is to surge out of the starting gates, Mario Kart style, by keeping your throttle in the middle of the 3 zones of the on-screen meter as the green flag figuratively drops. In these high-speed races that can be won or lost in a second or two, that initial moment matters more than you might guess.
Bro, you purposely ran into the wall, brother. You purposely ran into the
yes,
wall.
properly nailing your ignition sequence is important, but what really makes or breaks your race is how frequently and effectively you use your abilities. I only saw a couple of them during my hands-on time, but there are plenty of them to unlock, and they'll allow you to craft a pretty bespoke build for your vehicle. Take the aforementioned shield, for instance. If you're bunched up tight in a cluster of fellow racers, you can be sure that at least one of them will try to shunt you into the nearest wall. Nailing the timing on your shield ability so that it's active when that takedown attempt comes, and before running out of juice and needing to recharge via cooldown timer, can save you from a fate of having to be blotted off the track's walls with handy wipes.
Like I said, this game needs to be fast-paced. The gameplay needs to be aggressive. Like you have to feel like you're out there actually pod racing. Like it's gotta be fast, it's gotta be aggressive. And if the gameplay is interesting in that regard, you could pretty much hook people. I think you'll hook people with it. But again, this game is competing in a world with like your Mario Karts, your Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, and shit like that. A lot of the mechanics that I see in this game similar to Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, obviously, which is also similar to Mario Kart. So it's like you're competing in that world. But I think that the brand and the customization of the ships and whatnot will be enough to make it stand out. Even though like you could customize your cars. Obviously, in Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, it's very limited, but you can still do it. So depending on how like in-depth the customization is in this game, that'll be pretty cool. So hopefully they do that.
The other one I used extensively during my hands-on session was Ramjet, which sadly I don't have footage of here. It's functionally the same as an afterburner, with the key difference being that you can keep the extra push of speed going past its cooldown point at the risk of pushing it too far and having your craft explode. I earned some modifiers for this as I played, including one that would reduce ramjet consumption by 50% while in midair, meaning
this
on
game
a
looks
jump,
fucking
since
gorgeous,
of course
bro. Look at that
all
shit.
of these Star Wars
Holy
racing
fuck.
vehicles are technically in midair all the time. The tracks, meanwhile, vary from short to
It looks
long
so
and
good,
from
man.
hot to cold, depending on which planet they're located. Jakku doesn't have any temperature concerns, but Lantana has patches of magma on track that will overheat your vehicle if you're not careful,
That's
while
cool.
Ando Prime is an ice world where you'll need to zip through conveniently placed heating tunnels in order to not get fully frozen over and thus slowed down.
That's cool.
On all of
I
them,
like that.
knowing when to drift is crucial, particularly on tracks that have shortcuts accessed by hitting those borderline hairpin turns just right, as is making sure you are never sitting on a full reserve of afterburner. Between constantly boosting, drifting, avoiding environmental hazards, finding shortcuts, taking down rivals, and avoiding them taking you down, there's plenty in this arcade racer to keep you on your toes at all times.
Now this is pod racing.
Yeah, that looks fun.
The developers purposely allotted me time to experience pod racing at the end of my demo
I
in
did
an
see a multiplayer
arcade
tab.
mode outside of the regular roguelite circuit. I'm glad they let me get my sea legs under me first, because the pod racers proved to be a much more difficult space horse to tame. They're much faster than the other vehicles while also being a heck of a lot more fragile. Not to mention that the track I pod raced on was Tatooine, which included a particularly harrowing narrow canyon run where one wrong move would turn me into a stain on the canyon walls.
Fucking destroyed.
Once I get more comfortable with pod racing in the full game, I definitely want to play around with the camera angles. There's a cockpit view that looks especially
That's
cool
sick.
on the pod
That's
racer,
sick.
but requires your reflexes to be even quicker.
Dude, like, that viewpoint would be fucking nauseating, bro. In certain scenarios, it would be so nauseating.
All in all, not only were my fears of the roguelite loop unfounded, but the burnout roots baked into developer Fuse Games' DNA was joyously evident in every moment that I spent on the track with Star Wars.
Playing that in VR, oh my god,
Galactic
crazy,
Racer.
bro.
And the times that I wasn't going hundreds of miles per hour when I was on foot did a great job of further Star Wars-ifying my experience. I'm incredibly optimistic about what I've seen from this long overdue spiritual successor to Episode 1 Pod Racer, and I can't wait to play more of it.
Listen, I think the gameplay looks pretty good. I think it looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I think it looks pretty good. And the only thing that's a little concerning, I don't know if it's like a mixture of what this guy is trying to describe the game as, but the way that he described like the whole supposed roguelite elements and stuff, that's a little bit annoying. Not gonna lie to you. But as long as it's out of the multiplayer, it doesn't affect the multiplayer in that way. And there also is an arcade version where you can kind of take all that shit out of it. I think it looks like a solid racer. I think it looks good. And I would definitely be playing it for sure. I will be checking it out and racing. I might even race against some of you guys like we did with Sonic Racing Crossworlds. I think that'll be pretty cool. But yeah, I'm so tired of everything being a roguelite though. Yeah, I agree. Deku, I agree. Like everything in their mother being a fucking roguelite is so annoying. But yeah, Secret Final Boss, I will still review it. Yeah, I absolutely. It so far it looks pretty damn solid from the actual core gameplay, viewpoint in terms of the actual gameplay itself, the speed of it, the aggressiveness of it, the actual worlds, the maps and stuff. Like it looks really, really good. So, but that's the thing. Like the Star Wars video games tend to do much more respect to Star Wars than the actual shows and movies. Which is crazy, but I mean, that's just what it is. And if anything, they're at least a lot more fun. So that looks pretty cool. I will definitely check it out. But the roguelite stuff definitely has me a little concerned. So we'll see how that turns out. And I will definitely let you guys know, obviously, when the day comes. But that's basically it. Let me resume TTS quickly, and then we'll get into the next topic. Let's see what we got. I don't see anything on Rumble, so we're good on Rumble.
#Samus.
FF7 remake died when Square Enix defended their censorship of Tifa with their ethics department.
Oh my god, I know. Their ethics department, Jesus Christ, man. Their ethic, thank you, Space Monkey.
Samus Aran.
I am coining this game as card like Rogislop.
Oh no, she's having a stroke. No. Speedy Cake! Speedy Cake! You made her have a stroke! You made her have a stroke! No! Speedy Cake! Fuck! Oh no, GLaDOS is dead! GLaDOS is dead. No, man. Fuck, not GLaDOS. I think that was the worst stroke I've ever heard on the TTS by far. We've heard some pretty bad ones. We had one with Biden and one with Trump, but damn, not GLaDOS, bro. Not GLaDOS, man. Speedy K, congrats, man. You're gonna go down in history as the one who gave GLaDOS a stroke. That's crazy, bro. Holy shit. All right, the hell did she say? I don't know. I don't know what she said, bro. I am completely out of it. Mods, we've had quite a few votes for Samus. Has she caught up to Cortana, or is that red boy still putting her in the lead? I'm curious. Let me know. Let me know while I get the next topic set up, but let me know for sure. Was there any fast topics that I wanted to cover really quick? Let me see. What kind of time we got? We got a little bit of time for like one or two more. Let's see. Let's see what we got. Let's talk about really quick. Let's talk about Lords of the Fallen.
My ideal racing game is basically Burnout X Wipeout. Call it Burn Wipe, Wipe Burn, or Out. Also, you ignored my last point earlier about TFA and Yujiro Hanma. What do you think?
I don't know what did you ask about Tifa and Yujiro? What did you ask? I think Tifa is a better fit for Street Fighter than she is in Tekken. I love the idea of Yujiro being in Tekken. Yujiro's fucking brutal. So I like the idea of him being in Tekken, but I don't know what was your question before that. But thank you, bro, for the 10. I appreciate that. Guys, let's talk about Lords of the Fallen really quick. Oh, you want both of them for Tekken? Oh, I mean, again, I don't feel like Tifa really fits in Tekken personally. But I can understand why people want her in there. You're not the only one. A lot of people wanted her in Tekken. That's why people were so mad when they found out that she wasn't going to Tekken. So I get it. Let's talk about this really quick. So unfortunately, guys, it is unfortunate. Unfortunately, Lords of the Fallen 2 has been delayed. Yes, boys. Just sound it. Sound it. Lords of the Fallen 2 has been delayed. Now, this is after announcing that, like I said before, they have bought themselves out of exclusivity with Epic Games. And at that point, I was all in, right? Because, like, my only critique with this game was that they were going Epic Games exclusive, and I felt like that was a slap in the face to a lot of their fans. And then eventually they ended up raising $27 million, resulting in them being able to buy out their exclusivity with Epic Games, and now they're releasing everywhere. So they essentially used Epic Games to fund their video game, and then they bought out the exclusivity, and now they're just risking it all. Pretty ballsy for the most part. But other than that, I'm super excited for the game. You know, this is pretty much like what I always play. And me and Leon, we're currently playing through the first Lords of the Fallen. I've already played Lords of the Fallen, but I'm playing through it again so that I can showcase it to him because he doesn't really play Souls games. With all that being said, the game is now being delayed to Q1 2027. And I wanted to go over Marek's statements as to why this supposedly is. Now, I know a lot of people going to bring up GTA. A lot of people going to bring up GTA. I get it. Like everybody else is dodging GTA like it's a bomb. It's unbelievable how stacked the months of September and October are. It's fucking insane. But they're stacked. Like every video game's releasing in those months. Nobody wants to release against GTA except for like a couple of studios that have said they're not gonna back down, which I respect them for, by the way. But anyway, a lot of people saying GTA. But Marek has something else that he wants to say. So let's kind of go over it and see what he says. So Lords of the Fallen 2 development update. It's now going to release Q1 2027 release window, which I find to be funny because that means it's going to release next to Fable. And Fable was like, "Oh, we want to release when the game has a time to shine all on its own." Say, "All right. Okay." As development progresses, we have worked closely with the gameplay feedback team, which is a dedicated group of seasoned Souls-like veterans within our launch creative team. Their valuable ongoing input combined with the team's vision has identified meaningful opportunities to further refine and strengthen the overall experience. These enhancements will benefit from additional integration, iteration, and polishing time, enabling the team to deliver the highest possible quality at launch, which obviously I'm always for. Like if you're delaying the game so that you can add more quality to the video game, I'll never say no. But the problem is a lot of these teams tend to say that's why they're delaying the game. And then there's usually another reason why, right? And, perfect example is probably Assassin's Creed Shadows. They delayed that game multiple times for supposed quality just for the game to release half broken anyway. But that's besides the point. It's not, we're not dealing with Ubisoft here, so whatever. This updated release window will also strategically position Lords of the Fallen 2 outside of a highly competitive holiday period, ensuring the game receives the dedicated attention it deserves. So this is the GTA part. Right? So this is like, it's not even, and keep in mind, guys, it's not even just GTA. This year, at the end of this year, is so stacked, it's unbelievable. Like, you guys don't have any idea how busy we are going to be in terms of playing video games and reviewing video games. It is going to be stacked, right? And on top of all of that, the consoles are also getting Grand Theft Auto 6, so all the console boys are going to be playing that shit like crazy. So it's unbelievably stacked at the end of this year. So even if you take away GTA 6, even though GTA 6 is a major component of this in terms of the holiday period, there's still a bunch of other video games as well. So I get it, right? And as long as they utilize the time to make the game better, I don't care. Like I'm still playing through the first game. We're having fun with that. I've played through that game multiple times, both on PlayStation and on fucking PC. I love this game. This game's awesome. I played the original 2014 one as well, even though that wasn't made by CI Games. But the point is, I love Lords of the Fallen. Great series. Well, I will always wait. Not a problem. Anyway, so the team remains fully energized by the strong response to our recent reveals and is deeply focused on delivering a standout dark fantasy action RPG and a worthy successor to the Lords of the Fallen franchise. We are grateful for the continued passion, feedback, and support from our community, and we look forward to sharing more updates in the coming months. So I mean, again, that's basically it, boys. It's honestly a super simple story. I just wanted you guys to know about it because I know a lot of you are looking forward to it like I am. And unfortunately for this one, this is not going to make it this year, which honestly is kind of better anyway, because that way it doesn't kind of get mumbled up with all the other video games, especially for like if you care about Game of the Year and stuff like that, which this game would never beat GTA. All right. Most video games, if any, are not going to beat GTA for Game of the Year. Most likely it's going to be handed to GTA right off the bat. So this game releasing next year after everybody, gets their GTA and stops talking about it, it'll be fine. But unfortunately, we do have to wait. Rock says, is it a Souls-like difficulty-wise? It is. It's essentially a Souls-like. But they do their mechanics with the lamp, especially, and the Umbral Realm. It does separate itself from other Souls-likes with that mechanic. I don't personally like the lamp mechanic. But that's just me. Again, I do enjoy the game a lot, even with the lamp mechanic. I'm not really like a fan of it personally. But yeah, that's it, man. They are delaying the game, so that's it. Q1 2027 for those of you that were looking forward to that game. Just wanted to let you guys know that. Let's X out of that. Let me see. There were so many topics I had planned, so many fast topics that I wanted to touch on. I'll touch on this one really quick. So Warhammer 40K Rogue Trader, okay? They announced on Monday, I think it was on the 22nd. They announced on the 22nd that they were going to be releasing their own launcher on PC. You already know what that means, boys. Okay? You already know what that means. The backlash was going to be swift because PC gamers don't want to deal with multiple fucking launchers. We don't want to deal with that shit. We're already dealing with the platform where we actually buy the video games on and then adding another launcher to it. Anyway, the moment they announced the launcher, they got so much backlash. It was monumental that they decided to pull the launcher within less than 24 hours. They already said, fuck it, we're not going to do the launcher. We're going to remove the launcher. And they took it away. That's crazy. Oh, shit. Know what? People don't want to deal with it. They don't want to deal with this bullshit with all these fucking launchers, man. No more lawn chairs? Bro, come on. I did not say lawn chair. Anyway. So yeah, if you read it here, it says Outcad Games' original announcement has nearly 2,000 comments and 0 likes. 0 likes. Another example that PC gamers get what they fucking want. And this is why, like, a lot of super console fanboys, they hate PC gamers because they're like, all you guys do is complain. Well, when we complain, we get what we want. Like 9 out of 10 times we get what we want. And you guys are just mad because you don't actually want to go against the corporation. You want to just accept whatever the corporation gives you because you have like 14 games out of the 5 or 6 years your console's been out. It's crazy. Yeah, but it got 0 likes. 0 likes. They announced on Monday, June 22nd, that it would be releasing its own PC launcher for all of its games that would include news, patches, and content add-ons readily accessible in one place. The company told fans that it would be optional, requiring no mandatory registration, but it was still open to any feedback that they might have on the experience. Well, less than 24 hours later, the company has followed up to its lengthy breakdown with a 3-sentence post telling fans that it made the decision to roll back the launcher. They said, Lord Captains, we hear you and we are rolling back the launcher. The game will now revert to the previous patch, completely removing any launcher-related changes. Thank you for your feedback and genuinely sorry for the frustration. Damn, bro. They got fucking felted so hard. They just said, you know what? We're sorry. We're sorry. We're done. We're done. We're not going to do it. Sorry. Don't spank us too hard. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please. Please stop beating me. Please. It's crazy, bro. Unbelievable. That's rough. That is rough. Your fake says, people complain that paying 30% to Steam is fair because Steam has a huge user base. But you also complain when a studio tries to make their own storefront and launcher. Well, it wasn't a storefront. It wasn't a storefront. And I'm okay with them making their own storefront. If somebody wants to use their storefront, you shouldn't have to use it through Steam. Like if your storefront's good enough and you like their storefront, you should use their storefront. See, that's the problem. It's not about complaining that they made their own storefront. It's complaining that they're forcing their storefront through another storefront. That's the difference. I don't know if people can understand that, but that's the difference. Like if I want to use Epic Games, I'm not going to want to use Epic Games through Steam. Does that make sense? Like if I want to use Epic Games, I'm going to go use it through Epic Games because I'm going to use Epic Games. But since I'm using Steam, I want to use Steam, you know? But that's basically it. Wish Ubisoft would stop forcing their shitty app. Dude, I've complained about that so much. Ubisoft forcing their fucking storefront and their app on the video games. And it always, bro, the Ubisoft app is terrible. Like I play the Division 2 with a friend. And because he likes the game. So I was like, all right, well, we play like once a week. That's basically it. And bro, the amount of times we've had like disconnection issues because of the Ubisoft app, it's terrible. Like I hate their fucking storefront. It's so bad. It's so bad. My bad. Thought it was like another Uplayer Origin. No, it's not. It's not. It's basically like they said they're using it for like news. It was basically like a launcher that would control launching the video games from Steam that you have from Steam, but it'll essentially spread out news to you and information and things like that. You know, that's basically it. But yeah, this I just hate it. I hate it. Like if you want to make your own storefronts, fine. It's not a problem. You're not going to hear me complain about you making a storefront. You might hear me complain about you lacking features on your storefront, but I have a right to do that if you're trying to attract people. Because let's be real, when they make a storefront on PC, what's their goal? Their goal is to try to get Steam players, right? Because everybody knows like Steam is the top dog in terms of PC gaming as a storefront. So if you're trying to attract players to your storefront, you have to at least have most of what the competition has at the bare minimum, or at least half. Like if you're starting out, at least have half. But the thing is, they can't do that. Well, actually, let me rephrase. It's not that they can't do that. It's that they won't do that. Right? Because even Epic Games, with all the money in the world, they still chose not to do that up until 9 years later after they got shit into the fucking ground. Now, all of a sudden, they want to copy Steam. 9 years later, when Sweetie Boy was like, yeah, I don't see any reason to do what Steam is doing. He thought Steam was going to be gone in 10 years. And that was 9 years ago. Not exactly working out in his favor, you know? But yeah, GOG is doing a good thing. GOG is doing a good thing. I like what GOG is doing. GOG is a good store, but if CD Projekt Red made their games exclusive, that would be really stupid. See, nobody wants to play the exclusivity game on PC. It never works. Epic Games found that out the hard way. It never works. Playing the whole exclusivity game. It's just never going to work. But yeah, GOG is a great store. Like, I feel like it does something different. It does something important. And it does something that, even though it doesn't offer like a lot of the community stuff Steam has, at least is doing something so different that it stands out. It stands out from Steam. It does. It stands out from Steam in that regard, offering DRM-free video games. That's a huge thing, right? So I like that. I think that's great. You said, yeah, I encounter similar collection problems when you play Division 2. Sometimes we get Delta errors and they're still trying to fix it to this day. Yeah, dude, it's honestly unbelievable. Like, it's frustrating. It's like I use the fucking game like once a week and I still have disconnection problems. Probably like once or twice while playing the game. And it's always because of the fucking storefront. Always. It's so annoying. Anyway, it's fine. So that's basically it. Just wanted to kind of go over that fast topic. All right, let's go with a Final Fantasy story. Let's do the Final Fantasy story, and then we'll kind of go from there, boys. We'll kind of go from there. All right, so the Final Fantasy VII Revelation director, I guess he's been on like a media tour or something like that, where he's been answering certain questions and saying certain comments, and they're always great. They're always amazing, right? Final Fantasy VII Revelation director says queer romancers make the world feel more real. Nice. This is definitely what we need to be focusing on when you have a video game that sold half of your first game because people found out that, you know, it was a massive bait and switch. But anyway, we won't go there because, you know, I don't want to bring up the whole conversation again about the remakes. People are going to be like, oh God, here goes Grandpa Theo Hypnotic complaining about Final Fantasy VII again. Yup, bitch. Anyway, Hamaguchi said that the presence of queer people and relationships in the remake trilogy enhances the world's realism. You know, fun fact about this entire comment is that the queer representation or the gay representation or whatever the case may be was in the original game too. It was in the original game. It may not have been with the main characters, even though, just to be fair, there is a lot of, let's just say, Axis media, or as we like to call them, the National Defense Force Against Chuds. They've written articles many times over, like this one, for example, in 2024, essentially begging for Tifa and Aerith to basically scissor. You know, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is gaming's greatest lesbian scavenger hunt. whatever the fuck that means. So, it's even though, gay characters and queer supposed representation has always been in Final Fantasy VII, because if you played the original, you'll even realize that you essentially had to cross-dress Cloud in order to infiltrate the Don's house. Anyway, it's a long story. So it was always there, right? It was always there. You got the bar scene that's been enhanced, supposedly, if you want to use that word, in Final Fantasy VII remakes, but it was always there. So this is why like people start bringing up the claim of tourism or tourist, because it's like, if you think that Final Fantasy VII Revelation or Remake or Rebirth is somehow adding any kind of queer representation to the game that wasn't there originally, it was already there. All they're doing is just enhancing it with modern day graphics, obviously with the whole dance segment and whatnot. But my thing that I want to focus on is like, it makes the world feel more real. That's not necessarily a good thing, especially with Final Fantasy VII. Or just any kind of fantasy video game. It has literally the word fantasy in it. It's not necessarily a good thing, because I'm not looking for realism. This is kind of like the thing I've been combating with modern day Final Fantasy video games. The moment they left that fantasy style and they kind of went to, or even like the steampunk style, right? Like Final Fantasy VII was a steampunk style video game, right? Final Fantasy IX was your typical fantasy style video game, right? You even had like the fucking black mages and the typical mage hat and all that stuff, like very fantasy oriented. And Final Fantasy VIII was a little bit more in the realism aspect, where it had your sprites that were more like full-fledged humans, not so much like short and chibi style art and all that. I really just don't like this idea that we need more realism in Final Fantasy, because I feel like them chasing the realism has slowly but surely made them lose what made Final Fantasy so special in the first place. It really is starting to get quite a bit annoying. But anyway, so let's see what he says about this entire, queer representation. The developers on Final Fantasy VII Remake Trilogy wanted to create a world that felt real for whatever reason. To do that, they populated the world with different kinds of people living out their lives in all the diverse ways that real people do. As Cloud and the gang journey throughout the series, they are followed by a cadre of queer background characters living, laughing, and loving as part of the game director Hamaguchi's vision to create a more authentic world. Well, that is one thing that we did see. And again, I want you guys to understand, there was articles that were being written by Final Fantasy VII Rebirth especially. I don't know about Remake. I think it was Remake as well. But they were writing articles about both the video games where they were counting the amount of gay NPCs in the game. They were literally, I'm shitting, I'm not even fucking lying to you, bro. Like, I can't imagine playing through the game, stopping and counting all the gay NPCs that you see holding hands in the game. That's got to be one of the most boring things that I've ever heard. But again, people, this is what's important to these people. And this is why it becomes insufferable, because it's like, this becomes your entire identity. This is why people find you annoying. It's not the fact that you're gay. It's the fact that everything about you is about being gay. That's all you ever know. That's all it ever is. And that's the most annoying fucking thing about it. Especially when you're so desperate for representation that you're worried about the background NPC characters. No pun intended to the fact that we just watched a background NPC on YouTube. But it's like, that's what you really care about. It's like, you're not really there trying to play the video game. You're just trying to see if you can use it to bolster your cause in any way that you can, even though you know that none of the main characters are gay, but you're so desperate to find anything, bro. Like, your entire personality is fucking shallow, extremely shallow. But anyway, it is what it is. So Hamaguchi said including those queer romances was key to enhancing the realism of Midgar and beyond. Yeah, it was so key and it was so important that none of the main characters were gay. Interesting. Rebirth is a game where you encounter many towns, cultures, and relationships throughout your journey. He said, in my view, the presence of diverse, authentic relationships within that journey also enhances the world realism. In the game, there's a couple of women who start the relationship with a fight. Over time, players have noticed that the two women have grown closer together. Well, at least they got that accurate. At least they got the domestic violence and lesbian relationships accurate, so that's good. Then eventually becoming a couple. Hamaguchi said such content was not added to check a box, but was done with thoughtful intention, and he's glad players have noticed. Our goal wasn't to add a same-sex couple just for the sake of adding it. Are you sure? So are we talking about one? Are we talking about one literal couple? Actually, I think it was one literal couple. If I remember that article correctly, they literally just talked about the two women that, by the way, never even kissed, to my knowledge. But anyway, but to portray the stories of those inhabiting this world with sincerity and care, it's interesting to see such a thoughtful take on representing this kind of diversity within a Final Fantasy game. Just a few years ago, Yoshida, director of Final Fantasy 16, was criticized for his explanation of why that game lacked diversity, saying incorporating ethnic diversity in a game that features big-ass monster fights would violate narrative boundaries. Nice to see someone at Square Enix is a little more thoughtful than that. So, notice how they're attacking Yoshida. They're attacking Yoshida for Final Fantasy 16 for being lacking in diversity because there wasn't a bunch of black people running around. But they don't want to comment on the fact that they literally made Bahamut's what the fuck is the word? Avatar or whatever. Like the guy that basically controls Bahamut, like they made him gay. Like they literally make him kiss a soldier before he goes off into battle. Like, are we not like did that not exist? Why? Because he was not black? So see, this is why like I have a problem with this, because then it goes like, all right, well, there's a little bit here, a little bit there, whatever. It is what it is. But then like, well, now it's not enough, because now it's like, okay, well, now he's not black and gay. Dominant. I'm sorry. There you go. Dominant. I said Avatar, whatever. Dominant. Bahamut's dominant. They made Bahamut's dominant gay, but now they're angry because, well, he's not black and gay. He's not black and gay. Like, he needs to be black and gay. And then after it's black and gay, well, okay, well, he's not trans black and gay. Like, it's never enough. It's never going to be enough. It's unbelievable. Like, I always thought that was stupid. Even though, like, again, I've played Final Fantasy 16. I remember the moment I saw Bahamut's dominant kiss that soldier, I'm like, oh, are we really doing this shit? Are we really doing this? This is why I've been personally playing Dragon Quest a lot more lately. I started playing Dragon Quest 7 Reimagine, and I actually am playing Dragon Quest Heroes 2, which I actually really enjoyed, by the way. I should have played it sooner, but anyway. So, again, it's one of those things where it's like, it's never going to be enough, and this is why it feels so forced, because when they try to do things naturally, you always say it's not enough. And then what ends up happening is the things that they try to do naturally, it then gets pushed into an unnatural state because they don't want to do it, but they're being forced to do it. So it's just never going to be enough. This is why I say you should just ignore these fucking people. Just ignore them, because they're always going to feel empty. Because when you're looking at a video game or a movie or a corporation or anything really, in order to validate your existence, if you're looking at any of those things to validate your thought process, you're always going to be let down, because it's never going to be enough, because this stuff is fictional. It's not tangible to anything. It's not real. So if you're looking for things that are not real to validate your real existence, that's not going to work. You're never going to feel whole, and you're always going to feel empty. You're always going to be asking for more and more and more and more and more. It's never going to work out. But, they get mad at you when you say that, because, they think you hate everybody or whatever. That's basically it. So I found this story to be pretty damn interesting, coupled with the fact that there are other more important things that should be talked about. It's crazy. I came across this post. I was going to go over it, but I'll just save it for another day. I came across this post where there are multiple pages of all the major changes that the remakes have made to the story so far, and they are just egregious. There are some of the things I haven't even thought about personally. It's actually insane, but again, that's things that you should be more concerned about, but no, we're more concerned about imaginary lesbian relationships. I mean, look at this article from 2024. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is filled with queer representation. While none of the main cast have been confirmed as LGBTQ, as much as my heart ships Aerith and Tifa, the world the game takes place in is surprisingly queer. This is the article that they're referencing, by the way, just so you're aware. And easily the biggest step towards inclusivity the series has ever taken. Final Fantasy 16 has a heartfelt gay romance thanks to Dion and Sir Terrence. It ended into two parting ways before we had a chance to appreciate their queer relationship, or to see it develop outside of dossiers and cutscenes. As the player, we were left to fill in the tragic gaps ourselves. Yeah, it was so tragic. So tragic. Instead of embracing the queer joy, which should still be possible in the midst of grounded fantasy world. Yeah, but these are the people that complain about straight joy, or that they say straight joy is not a thing. It's crazy, bro. It's so crazy to see all this go down. Square Enix had a clear intention to improve upon this in Rebirth in a subtle yet impactful way that folds beautifully into the open world. Throughout my 60-plus hour review playthrough, I would make a point to slowly... Oh, this is it. I didn't even realize this is the article where the person The person literally, while playing Rebirth for 60 hours, decided to walk through each town and try to find all the gay characters they could find. Bro, throughout my 60-hour playthrough, I would make a point to slowly walk around each new town and settlement, taking in unfolding conversations between people who are simply going about their everyday lives. While Cloud and company are trying to save the world, the majority of citizens you stumble across are all trying to make ends meet, constantly worried about the capitalist overlord staring down at them. Jesus fucking Christ, man. These are like the media literacy people where they can't look at a fantasy story and just enjoy the story for what it is. They got to tie it to something in real life. Where they're like, what do you mean Final Fantasy VII isn't about being anti-capitalist? It's literally that. I'm like, bro, stop. Stop, bro. Yeah, it's a story about being anti-capitalist. I mean, come on, it's about Shinra. And Shinra's literally destroying the planet and destroying its people by using Mako energy. And that's the whole point of being a eco-terrorist in the first game, because that's what it's really about. It's about eco-terrorism. Oh, stop, bro. Yeah, I agree. Sephiroth was right. We need Meteor. Yep. We need Meteor. Just summon the Meteor, destroy everything. Destroy it all. It is what it is. Which is so funny because they don't realize that for Cloud, it was never about eco-terrorism. It was just about money. At least at first, anyway. It was never about eco-terrorism. They didn't give a fuck about the planet. He literally says, I don't give a shit about the planet. I just want my my money. It's literally what it is. And then not only that, too, in Advent Children, fucking Mr. Eco-Terrorist Barrett becomes an oil man. He cares so much about the planet, he starts drilling fucking oil. Wow. I guess that makes sense. Him and Sid. That's their new power source that they talked about. When they talked about discovering a new power source, they end up becoming oilmen. It's crazy, bro. Anyway, Square Enix had the clear intention, and they have to exist within the confines of systems they can't control. So why not try to grasp onto a semblance of happiness while they still can? So basically, they're saying if you live under a capitalist society, the only semblance of happiness that you could get is by being queer or gay or something. That's essentially it. Queer communities are part of this equation, and much like the Owl House Rebirth takes place in a world where homophobia doesn't appear to exist, even if other forms of prejudice do play a role in the narrative, as Midgar and Wutai continually butt heads with each other over their troubled history. I first stumbled across the town of Calm where the game begins and you first develop a taste of the open world. The streets are packed with citizens talking, merchants. One of the first things I encountered was two women involved in a small scuffle as they furiously slapped one another in the face as they appeared to argue over a cheating boyfriend. Wow. I'm telling you, the only NPC that they saw were two women that ended up beating each other in the beginning. This is actually unbelievably ironic. It's actually ironic. The streets are packed with citizens talking, etc., etc., etc. After progressing the main story for a few hours, noticing the sun had begun to set in the sky, I opted to return to Calm to pick a few side quests and restock my inventory. Quickly noticing that new NPCs were now occupying certain spots around town, taking part in dense conversations that weren't here previously. When I went to check in on the two women, they were now holding hands and embracing each other, talking about whether to take a vacation to Costa del Sol or Golden Saucer in order to make it up to each other and deepen their relationship. It's only a few lines of dialogue, but Square decided to flesh out otherwise meaningless characters like this in its open world makes it so alive. And the fact that they're queer only warms my heart. Again, so now holding hands confirms that you're a lesbian. Holding hands. I remember talking about this article years ago because they're basically taking two females that they don't know are actually lesbian who were in a fight, supposedly arguing over a cheating boyfriend, by the way, are now deciding to hold hands and make it up to each other and say, yeah, we should go hang out and try to be. So now holding hands means that you're scissoring. So they are the ones who are trying to put it on these NPCs to be lesbians. And the developer's like, yeah, I'll just lean into it because I want to get these psychopaths off my back. It's like, how is they don't kiss. I don't believe that they kiss in the game. I'm pretty sure they don't kiss. I'm almost positive they don't kiss. They just hold hands. And apparently holding hands on beach-clad in new outfits I haven't seen before, they kept the world alive. It was one fucking one NPC group. One NPC group. One. They wrote an entire article over one NPC group of 2 women who are holding hands, not kissing, and they just finished fighting, and now they're trying to make it up to each other. Crazy, bro. This is what this person who played the game for 60 hours, this is what they want to talk about. This is like the highlight of the game. There's no way he remembered 2 random NPCs. Oh, he did. Oh, he did. He absolutely did. Anyway, so they're still writing about it even till this day, using only that NPC, by the way. Do you notice that Kotaku's article, 2 years later, is only referencing that one particular NPC group? Because it's the only one that they found in the whole game. One. And we don't even know if they're actually gay or not. The director is just leading into it. Because, you know, if the Western journalists are like, hey, you know, these relationships are really nice, they're queer. This guy who probably doesn't even know what queer fucking is, he's like, yeah, sure. Yeah, we wanted to just make it realistic. And then they took that one thing and now they ran with it. Oh, queer romances are so important. Oh my God. Anyway. So I just think it's fucking hilarious. I think it's absolutely hilarious. But here we are 2 years later talking about the same exact thing because why? It's funny. It is funny. And again, I'm not here to defend the remakes, okay? Because I don't. But I'm also not going to shit on them for something that barely exists in the game. If at all. Because again, we don't know. 2 women holding hands after fighting does not mean that they're scissoring. It just means they're making up. You know? But for these people, it just immediately means like, oh, they're absolutely scissoring. Yeah. No, I'm good. I'm good on that. I thought it was funny, though. Oh, yeah, but this list, by the way, we're going to go over this list one day. Whenever I have time, because I feel like I've been talking about Final Fantasy VII remakes a lot. Whenever you have time, we're going to go over this list. This shit is crazy. It's crazy. We're going to go over that. All right, boys. We got one more fast topic I want to cover before T-Jab fires me. One more fast topic, guys. So we already post the link here in chat. What do you want the link for? You want the link to the list? Is that it's a Twitter post. Here, I'll send you the that's the link to the Twitter post with all the changes. So you can check it out in your free time. Oh, the article? You want the link to the article? Sure. Hold on. This is the Kotaku one right there. And put on Rumble as well. There you go, boys. All right. You're welcome. All right, so let's cover a Bungie story. This shit is crazy. This story is crazy. Hold on. So check this out. So I saw this story, right, about Destiny and Bungie, and I'm like, wait a second, hold on. There's no way that this is real, right? There's no fucking way this could possibly be real. Oh, but it is. It is. And when we talk about budgets being exploded, when we talk about money being wasted on a daily basis, okay, this shit is crazy. So apparently, according to a former Bungie developer, they said that there was, in fact, a Destiny dating simulator. A Destiny dating simulator that was actually made at Bungie internally, okay? Like an actual Destiny dating simulator video game that was made internally at Bungie. And that apparently it was very Dream Daddy inspired. Can somebody please explain to me what the fuck is Dream Daddy, bro? Like, every time I cover these articles, I feel like I'm listening to words that I don't understand. I remember when I was younger, I felt like I was so much more cultured to the weird shit that people would say. Now, I don't know what the fuck these people are saying half the time. What is a Dream Daddy, and what does he do? like what? Who is your daddy, and what does he do? What is a Dream Daddy, bro? This is crazy. Anyway, but apparently leadership was a hard no, pun intended probably, because they thought nobody wanted romance or silliness. Thank God somebody over there had a brain. Somebody over there at Bungie had a brain and said, this is stupid. Keep it amongst yourselves, you fucking psychos. Thank God somebody had a brain out there. And of course, they had just have to post interesting pictures. Anyway, So Bungie's Destiny franchise had a lot of strange and unexpected ideas over the years, like a Genshin Impact-inspired spin-off codenamed Payback that was canceled in 2024. But one of the most surprising ones is still the dating simulator. Back in 2024, it was revealed that Bungie had made some kind of Destiny dating simulator internally during game jams. At the time, there were barely any details about what it looked like, how far along it was, or if players were ever actually meant to see it. That alone was enough to get fans talking, mostly because Destiny has no shortage of characters people are attached to. From Shaxx and Marasov to Crow, Saint 14, Osiris, Ares, and Drifter, there are plenty of names that fans will probably expect to show up in something like this. Now we have a little more information. Oh my God, here we go, boys. This is going to be great. The new details come from former Bungie community manager Liana Rupert. Why do I know that name? Liana Rupert. Who shared more about the project on X after someone asked Bungie to give us the dating sim we deserved. Bro, these people are not real. These people are not real. They don't even want to make Destiny 3. Why would you think they want to give you a Destiny dating simulator so that 3 of you could play it? Like, why would that even be a thing? Come on, bro. Like, these people are not living in reality. According to Rupert, the team actually did make one internally, but leadership was not interested in moving forward with it. The reason, she says, was that leadership believed players did not want romance or silly side content in Destiny. Yeah, they actually wanted real content, and you didn't even want to give that to them either. And then when you did give them real content, you took it away after they paid for it. Rupert also said that the project was inspired by Dream Daddy, the popular dating sim where players romance different dads. Is that what that is? It's a dating sim where you romance different... What the fuck is wrong with people? Here is her full comment. Fun fact, the team actually made one, but leadership was very hard no, that nobody wanted romance or silliness, very Dream Daddy inspired. It was fun getting to be a small part of it. Bro, what is wrong with... What is this? That was all, and that was enough. What the fuck, bro? I'm so glad I quit Destiny when I did. I'm so glad I did. Though we do not know if Rupert was talking about the same game jam dating sim that was previously reported, or if it was a different internal project that went further than fans first thought. In other news, Bungie's reportedly getting ready for a massive round of layoffs. Yo, great timing. Great timing. Wait. This is a felting. This is a felting. Yeah, Destiny wasted time and... Well, I should say Bungie wasted time and money making a dating simulator that apparently some people wanted. Hey, by the way, news are reporting that Bungie's going to do a massive round of layoffs, firing up to 50% of the staff, which could be around 400 employees. What a great follow-up. That was a great follow-up to that, man, and absolutely deserved. So anyway, I saw this story and I was like, there's no fucking way. But apparently it is. Apparently this was reported on before. I didn't even realize that. And now they're reporting on it again because somebody who used to work at Bungie essentially confirmed it. Who really knows? But this is what Bungie was wasting their time on, boys. This is what no. I already know what that is, and I'm not accepting it. Who did that? Who did that? Hold on. I already know what that is, and I'm not accepting it. Nope. Not happening. Let me see. Let me see if I'm right. OG. Bro, I can't even report on a story without you motherfuckers out here trying to get an immediate felt. No. OG. No. Wow. Hey, this is a Dream Daddy, boyo. Get cultured. No. I will remain an uncultured swine. No. Goth ex-girlfriend, stop. I know who you are, Goth ex-girlfriend. Stop. Dream Daddy, a dad dating simulator. Bro. This is fucking insane. You know what I'm going to do? Here's what I'll do. I'm not going to accept it because fuck you. I'm not doing it. But since you did gift something and you spent money on it, I will at least watch the trailer so that you get your money's worth, even though you're going to get your money back anyway. I will at least watch the trailer. This shit better not be fucking gooner bait. I swear to God. I swear to God. I'm not accepting it. Fuck you. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Who is your Dream Daddy? What does he do? Oh my God. Oh my God, bro. That was a mistake. That was a mistake. That was a mistake. That was a mistake. That was absolutely a mistake. So consider your super chat funded. You gay as fuck boy, super gay, ultra gay, omega gay, gay, gay. You. There you go. There you go. Holy shit, boys. What are we doing? What the fuck are we doing? What are we doing? Seriously. All right, guys. I'm going to resume the TTS. Man, fuck.
Zach X Cloud for the ending.
Give that to Leon.
It's called Final Fantasy for a
Zach
reason.
X Cloud for the ending. Yeah, that's probably going to happen.
And this is the reason why people are starting hating LBG community as these narcissist people, they can't stop talking about themselves. It's annoying.
Yeah, they don't get that.
Management may have said no, but they put that shit into the game anyway.
You know, you got a point. You definitely got a point, Demon Carol. They added some interesting shit to Destiny from what I've heard. So you kind of got a point. Even though the game didn't get, published, they still kind of did it anyway. So that makes sense. All right, boys. Yeah, send the game to Leon. Guys, we got to pick a winner before TJAP fires me. Listen, the battle's actually very close, ironically. We had one major vote for Cortana, and then almost everything else has, for the most part, been for Samus. So Samus is starting to slowly but surely catch up. We're at like a $30 or $40 difference. Not even that, I think. According to TJAP, he says that we are at 74 for 74 for Samus and 110 for Cortana. It's very close. We're 122 away from tier 2. Boys, let's figure out who's going to become the third semifinalist today. Let's do it right now. Let's go. Let's figure it out. This is the time. This is the time. That's an un-DEI'd Cortana. Okay, so why are we... let's not complain about it. Let's not complain about it. Let's make it happen. Is Cortana really about to beat Samus right now? Is that happening? Let's figure it out, boys. Let's figure it out, boys. Beautiful Sexo. $10 for Samus. Let's go. She's even closer now. $84 for Samus. Versus 110 for Cortana. I never thought I would see a world where Cortana was going to beat Samus, but here we are. Here we are. Hey, Tenebrae, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you for hanging out. Let's go. Cortana got you bricked? All right, well, we'll find out. We'll find out. Dave!
Cortana is best AI.
Holy shit, Dave!
Holy shit.
Dave with a 50 for Cortana, putting her back in the lead, big time.
Send the shippers back to tumble.
Mr. Melancholy with a 2 for hashtag Samus.
Hashtag Samus LFG.
Chief Danier! Holy shit!
Holy shit.
Samus pulled ahead. Samus is ahead by a little bit. It's close. It's close. Chief Danier with a $100 Red Boy Hyperbanger for Samus. It's close, boys. Draconic with a 5 for Samus over on Rumble. Toradol with a 10 for Samus over on Rumble. He says all Cortana has to do is talk. Damn, that's crazy. Holy shit. Boys, it is very close right now. It's very close. Dave dropped a $50 banger for Cortana, putting her decently in the lead. And then Chief Danier caught Samus up with the $100 Red Boy Hyperbanger. Holy fuck, boys. Holy fuck. Sonya, let it go. Just let it go. Let it go. Let it go.
Hash Tifa for her next time and it counts.
It doesn't count, Trey. Thank you for the 20.
Samus.
Beautiful Zexo with the 5. Hashtag Samus. Thank you. Samus is well into the lead. Boys, are we ready? Are we ready? Let's make it happen. Final countdown. Last super chat that shows up on my screen is going to be the one that counts. Ready? This is it. Samus is not that far ahead. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hashtag Cortana maybe.
Black Tailgate! Black Tailgate, $100 Red Boy Hyper Banger for Cortana.
Hashtag Inars.
Raza with a $20 banger for Samus over on Rumble. Cortana's back in the lead. Cortana's back in the lead.
Hashtag Samus.
Adair Salta with a 2 for Samus. Waiting for lag, waiting for lag, waiting for lag. Deadeye's Lock with a 2 for Samus over on Rumble. Waiting for lag, waiting for lag, waiting. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Stop all super chats for the battle. Holy shit. What an upset, ladies and gentlemen. That's crazy.
Hashtag your mom.
Trey. Fuck you too, my man. Trey with the $2 banger. Hashtag your mom, bro. Shout out to Trey. I appreciate it. Holy shit, man. All right, boys, listen. Rumble threw in some bangers over there. Draconic had a 5 for Samus. Torinol with a 10 for Samus. Raza with a $20 banger for Samus. And then Deadeye's Lock with a 2 for Samus. Rumble was loving Samus, bro. Rumble was loving Samus. But Black Tailgate came in with a $100 parry to Chief Danye's $100 Red Boy Hyper Banger. While T-Jab's counting it all up, boys, let's drop some music, man, for Chief Danye. $100 Red Boy Hyper Banger.
We have ourselves a Red Boy
Hyper Banger!
Shout out to Chief Danye. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, my man. Fucking absolutely legendary. You gotta let me know what clip you want. Black Tailgate with another $100 Red Boy Hyper Banger. Let's go.
We have ourselves a Red Boy
Hyper Banger!
Shout out to Black Tailgate. Shout out to Black Tailgate. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that, my man. Let us go. He says that it's house choice. Chief Daniel says it's house choice.
In my head now. Nauseated face emoji.
Oh,
vomiting
man.
face emoji.
I've already taken it out of my head. All right, the numbers are in, actually. Let's do the numbers first. Numbers are in. So we got Samus at $230.64 against Cortana at $260 flat, which means the winner and officially becoming our third semifinalist is none other than the one and the only Cortana. I cannot believe that she is somehow still in this fucking tournament, boys. Unbelievable. Damn, Black Tailgate saved the day. Let's go. That's wild, man. That is wild. That's an upset. Boys, one more time. Let's go. That's an upset, boys. Xbox beat Nintendo. But that was close. That was a close battle. $30? That's close. I prefer it to be close. Coping and seething, let's go.
You are coping and seething. You just can't accept what you're seeing. Yes, you're coping and seething. The truth it is scalding, and now you are molding and coping so hard. Coping and seething.
Shout out to you guys. Listen, Cortana is officially our third semifinalist. That means tomorrow's a big one. All right. Dickachu says Samus lost. That's it. I'm never coming back. Bro, Dickachu, you said that 5 times, bro. Guys, Cortana's our third finalist. So that means that tomorrow's battle, which is going to be a big one, by the way, Tally versus Aerith is tomorrow. Okay? So whoever wins versus Tally versus Aerith, whoever wins, is going to go up against Cortana in the semifinals. That's going to be fucking crazy. So we're going to find out tomorrow who's going to win that one. But that's going to be interesting. We'll see how that goes. All right, guys, listen. These guys basically said it's house choice. I'm going to play some clips on the way out. I hope all you guys had a fantastic time today. I hope you had a ton of fun in today's stream. Thank you guys so much for the insane support on the streams lately. It's been amazing. We've been getting like 500 plus concurrent viewers every night over on YouTube. That is unbelievable. Very blessed. I thank you guys so much for that. Sincerely, you guys are amazing. And I hope you had a great time. Like I said, today there's going to be no Lords of the Fallen because Leon's going to be doing some like special stream or something for Sonic 30th or whatever it is anniversary. So make sure to go support him. If he's still alive, I'll go raid him or something. But thank you guys sincerely so much. I hope you had a great time. Ton of fun. And of course, shout out to the Hypno mods for doing what they do every single day. Thank you guys for hanging out late and making sure everything runs smoothly. I appreciate you guys very, very much. And I will see every single one of you on the next one tomorrow. Sorry for no gaming stream today. Like I said, OBS and YouTube Studio was fucking up. And it only just recently worked right before I went live with this particular stream. So I wasn't able to do a gaming stream today, unfortunately. So sorry about that. Hopefully I could get to it tomorrow because that way we can continue reviewing Cristo. So thank you guys. Thank you. And we're going to play the clips on the way out. Until then, you guys already know, go be bigots and go be gooners. Bye.
All right, boys, we got another Red Boy hyper banger. Let's bring the ladies in.
And I got news for you. That means you get.
Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
Her dog, or her cat, was named Vagina. Vagina. Vagina.
Put a ticket in, make her gay. Fuck it, yeah, don't put a ticket in, make her lady gay. Fuck it, yeah, put a ticket in, make her gay. It means put a chicken in a queenie and make her fucking gay. Fucking pronouns! Fucking pronouns! Fucking gender ambiguity! Fucking current day Californian shit! Cause that's all we fucking know! Cause we're boring! We're so fucking Twitter hole! Twitter hole! Get it right!
At the touch of the black man, I bring life. 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 That's right!
Why the hell are you still here? Go on. Get out of here. Go play some video games.